Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 97. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, I gotta say, man, I'm happy to see you. When you gave us news last week of your impending snowy doom, I gotta be honest, I was kind of questioning whether or not we might make it on the air today. But here we are, and here you are.
Yeah, that's how I felt a couple weeks ago when it was Kentucky and in under the crosshairs. It's kind of funny. Everything kind of got pushed a little bit further up north. I think it's more of a Denver, Wyoming thing. Still getting snow, just not as bad as they were thinking it might get here. And it's pretty wet snow, so that was the fear that it was going to crack some power lines. So I'm kind of glad it didn't as well. Although I was ready. I was ready with my battery. You gave me advice to get that battery, and I'm glad I have it because now I can even use it for just streaming as well wirelessly.
Yeah, post-mortem, I was kind of going back and, thinking about the advice that I gave you to prepare for this thing, because I did just go through a fairly significant winter storm with the extended power outage. And it occurred to me that I gave you great advice on how to play VR for a week. But we didn't talk at all about how to stay warm or, keep the lights on or eat hot food. I'm hoping that you had the wherewithal to tackle that stuff yourself.
Yeah, I got a blanket for the cold. No, I don't have any propane heaters or anything. That would actually be a good investment to have as like just a survival thing. I do have food, and I've got a thing that could cook stuff if I needed to, without power. And actually, I was talking to a customer the other day on Friday, and she said, and I thought of you when she said this. She said, I'm even going to fill up my bathtub just in case the power goes out, because I do have to flush my toilet. And I wanted to say, see, I told you. Not all of us live in this wonderful Kentucky world where water comes down with gravity. So,
Yeah, man. We use both, right? We use the propane heater, and we use the kerosene heater. For the first time ever, we tried kerosene, and I gotta say, outside of the obvious smell, and all of this stuff puts out a smell. I gotta say, the kerosene heater was pretty cool because not only did it, you know, put forth a lot of heat. It heated the whole place pretty well, but you can cook on that as well as heat your home. Like
ooh.
if you set like a pot or a pan on top of it, that thing gets hot, man, like really hot. So if you're going to go buy a heater, like a gas powered heater, uh, for emergency purposes, I would say go with the kerosene.
Oh wow. Well, that sounds good. It's good advice. Yeah, definitely don't want to run out with power. That's the good thing. We're used to not having. Well, I guess we have had issues with our power. I guess in the past, it really comes down to what happens to the power lines. I don't know. It seems like yours goes down a little bit more often than ours, but you probably get a lot more freezing rain than we do. So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, we get everything here. That they say if you don't like the weather here in Kentucky, then just wait 5 minutes.
oh, that's what they say about Colorado too. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Lot Lizard Magoo says propane may be a clean burning fuel, but she can also be a dirty girl. Hey, that's true. You know who else is a dirty girl?
My oh yeah, yeah, she is.
Gamertag VR joining the chat says we're looking clean, Roots. So good job with the dialing in the settings there.
Oh,
Drew joining us in chat. Mash Daddy, as always, hanging out with us. Steven Sales, hello, friend. Slay Blaze, hey, long time no see, Slay Blaze. How's it going, brother? Scion showing up for his weekly Oculus Quest news, and he's going to love
good.
today's show, isn't he, Roots?
Yeah, yes. And speaking of Mash Daddy, man, we did it. We finished the game. We finished a way out. I was telling you before the show, I was gonna throw it on the list and take it off the list as far as finished. Or I guess we'll have to decide how long it is, right? I don't know. I don't know if we had that
Yeah.
discussion, didn't we? At some point, maybe we didn't. But
No, I don't. I don't think so. And we'll. I mean, the rules are new, so we'll just go ahead and do this one post mortem, right? And then we'll add it to the list. We'll pretend like it's last week and add it to the list and figure out how long and how many points it should be. I guess we'll make a provision that if as long as we do this within a week of you finishing it publicly, then no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, how do you? I mean, you could like hold off before you finish it, then announce it, and then finish it, but that seems kind of redundant. But yeah,
Well,
okay, go ahead.
the idea that I'm sorry, the idea is to mention it when you're playing it, not instead of waiting until like right when you're about to finish it to bring it up. That way you don't have to start, and we can have points agreed on and all of that,
Mm.
so on and so
I thought I
forth.
could have sworn I was even telling Mash I could have sworn I switched it out, but then I went to my list and saw that I had switched out something else into that spot. Oh, it was Landfall. So
Landfall for
yeah,
the win.
Landfall. Yeah, but
So
yeah,
how long
man.
did it take you to beat
It was
a
probably
way out?
close to 8 hours. But man, dude, that thing is cool. Like I was telling you a little bit before, it's like the best co-op game I've ever played. And one of the coolest things is there's all these things, these little things. Like even last night, I ran into this bedroom to do something, and there was this little card tower. Like someone had started building a deck of cards into a tower. And so oh, hey, let me see. My guy sits down and he starts doing it. There's just all these little things to do. Most of them are co-op, like pitching to each other. One person's pitching, the other's playing baseball, but just creates all these really cool memories. And then I won't ruin the ending for anybody that hasn't played the game, but the twist was like really crazy and completely flipped the game on end from everything that you've been doing from the beginning. And so it was just really cool, and it was a cool game to play completely in VR as well. And I can't wait. And I guess I'll do this right now. Can I throw Left for Dead 2 on my list? Because that's what we're going to be starting this afternoon
Absolutely.
in
Let's just go
Vorpax
ahead and do this
while we're
while
talking.
we're talking about. Let's just go ahead and update the list. And for those of you who don't know what in the hell we're talking about, Roots and I are participating in a competition called the Beat It Challenge. This is a year-long competition, and the idea of the game, I mean, there's a rather long, convoluted set of rules, but to boil it down to its, the one basic rule is we're beating games, we're finishing games, because ever since we started doing YouTube, it's been the most difficult thing to find time to finish games. So we made a New Year's resolution on the 2020 show this year that this year we're going to finish games. And so we concocted this crazy competition to kind of drive us toward that goal. And while I might not be making quite the progress that my friend Roots here is, I got to say, I think that the overall purpose of the Beat It Challenge is being fulfilled here, right?
Yeah, because I'm playing games. I feel like I just want to finish these games that I'm starting, and it's cool because and one of the reasons why I'm focusing on a lot of these AAA games is that these are games that I've wanted to play flat for a long time. Now I'm getting to play them in VR, and especially the ones I'm picking, like Left 4 Dead 2. I'm going to play with Mash Daddy and Techno Glitch, and I think I thought Radio Runt said he had it. I'm not sure, but man, I've never played Left 4 Dead, and that Vorpex. I guess the Vorpex profile Mash went in and checked it out. It's really good. Beard Benjo, is that his name or whatever? I saw a video.
Beardo Benjo.
Beardo Benjo. Okay, sorry, Beardo. I don't want to offend you. So Beardo Benjo's got a video out there where he did it. I think it was a couple years ago, but he was saying it was the best one he's ever done, and it looked very reminiscent to Resident Evil 7. The way it's geared is when you're moving around. So it just looks like it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to swing my axe around or machine gun, hopefully, and check it out. So
Um, so I would say, just based off what you're saying here, that I would consider A Way Out to be a medium-sized game, 10 points.
yep, sounds good to me. I'm never going to
Good.
argue points.
And what do you want to replace? What do you want to put? You said Left 4 Dead 2? Is it 2 or 1?
2, and it's got to be Vorpex, so it's got to be one of the two on that list. Which
Right.
which ones do I have? Can't remember.
You have Dying Light and Jedi Fallen Order.
All right, get Jedi Fallen Order out of there for right now because we're gonna be finishing Dying Light in the next week or two as well. So
All right.
I need
So
to
we're
play that
talking
with you,
about.
Wes. We need to get into some
Dude,
Dying.
I'm totally down. Uh, we're gonna have to play a game soon anyway for the money show.
Uh,
And
I was thinking
while
about
we're on
that.
the topic here of the money show, we've been I've been thinking over the last few days of ways that I could increased value for the patrons because it is just once a month at best that we do get on there and do the money show. And of course, yeah, we do give them our show notes every week as promised. But I wanted to do a little something more because the money show schedule is just kind of as we get a chance to, and sometimes it's kind of hard to make time. So this past week I've been throwing them a few different things here to kind of up the value for them, give them some entertainment, some information, and I think it's been a pretty good week for the patrons. And I uploaded well, actually, I didn't upload. I published a gameplay that I had uploaded like a month or so ago. Lone Echo gameplay I've uploaded to my channel, and I never published it because after we come up with Beat It Challenge, it occurred to me that I'm going to be playing through the whole game anyway. So I really don't have any place on my channel for this Lone Echo gameplay. So I never published it. I went ahead and let the patrons watch that. But in addition to that, I've kind of given them a couple of behind the scenes uh, info posts for just text posts where stuff that I never really share with people, conversations that I have with developers, different news that I break during the week. This is all stuff that I generally just report on the Sunday show, and I never mention to anybody about any of this stuff that I actually do throughout the week. Not even a lot of this stuff you don't even know about Roots, but I thought that it would be really cool. If I were a patron, I'd really enjoy it if someone were to share this stuff with me. So I uploaded a full Q&A session that I recently had with one of our developer friends. And I also broke some news on there yesterday that I'm going to be breaking later on the show today that I also got from one of our developer friends. So been a pretty good week for the patrons and just a way for me to say thank you to all of them because we really, really do appreciate their support.
Yeah, well, what I just heard in that whole thing, aside from how cool it is to be a patron, is that we should solidify some money show scheduling. Like actually
Absolutely.
set up a time because just waiting for a time for us to cross paths doesn't seem to work sometimes. Because a lot of times you might even have free time, and I'll be streaming or something, and if I know, I just won't stream that night. I'll just do that, hang out with you instead.
Well, I think that we need to, I mean, beyond just the money show, with the new series that we're getting ready to start doing, we really need to just nail down a time every week to play together because we're pretty much going to be playing together every week now for the next little bit. So I think that really we probably should just nail a time slot down. This is when we play, and when it's the money show, it's the money show. When it's the other show, it's the other show, and that way we can just prepare for it and make it happen.
That's a good idea. I like that idea, Wes.
All right, Left for Dead 2. Anybody in the chat have any idea how long this thing is?
Oh God, I wonder how long it is.
You
I
know who
can't
else
wait.
wonders how long it is? Roots.
My mom!
Oh God, she has a limit to us if it's not long enough. Oh, I'm not gonna go there. I was Vincent. Mash Daddy was Leo, and I don't know. I like being Vincent, man. I felt like he was Walter White, of A Way Out. That was really cool. I can't say how much I enjoyed playing that game. That's just it was really cool.
Google says the main story on average is about 7 hours long.
Would fall into that same category as the other one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a medium length title. There's another one here that says 9 hours, which would put it in the same bracket, I think.
I think the average there is 8, right? So
yeah. Yeah, so we'll call it 10 points, and if it seems crazy, we can always revisit it. I also want to I want to go ahead and take up another issue here while we're on the topic of Beat It Challenge. As you know, we have a series of games, 5 games that either of us can play at any time to get 50 points. And I have another title that I want to set up as a similar situation that either of us can beat for the points. But I'm not so sure it should be worth 50, maybe 30. It's something that's going to take a lot of practice to get through. And that is In Death Unchained. If you're really good at it and you run straight through it, I'm sure that it wouldn't take that long to complete it. But with that said, I have no doubt that I'm going to spend friggin' 20, 30, 40 hours in this thing just getting good enough to make it through it.
Wow. I think it's, why not, man? If it's one of those things that's going to draw us in and make you play it, finish this game, I think, setting it up as one of those, as the 6th title for, like you said, 30 or whatever, sounds good to me.
All right. So I think that that's what we'll do. We'll make that a title that either of us can play because, it kind of has to be like this because it is such a title that draws you in and you spend a lot of time on it. And I mean, it could potentially be time wasted, right? If you don't make it through it. So there needs to be a fairly big carrot on the end of that stick to make it worth the investment of time to get good enough to play through the entire campaign.
That's why exactly what you just said, Wes, is why I, even though the provision is there, and it would make for good, banter, I could just never, maybe I'm divulging my deck too much, but I could never swoop in and take one of your titles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to take somebody else's hard work and just say, you know what, I'm going to screw you. Sounds good in theory, but I like you and I don't want to, I just wouldn't do it. So.
Well, you say that now, Roots, but let's see what song you're singing come the end of November when it comes down to it and all the marbles are on the line.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, things could change. Well, there's different to do something off your list, or like I know you've got Lies Beneath, and you're releasing series. The dick move in my mind would be I do a stream and I finish it in one sitting. And you're sitting there going, I've got 7 videos ready to release or whatever. Nah, just not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah, well, I would tell you this, Roots. If you were to do that today, I would probably be upset. But if the game's on the line, if the game's on the line, when the time's running out, if you're down, brother, do it. That's why I made the rules what they are. I made it so that it could get competitive. This is meant to be entertaining for people, right?
That's true. Well, when it gets down to it, we'll see how everything comes out, right?
Yeah, because I'll tell you, man, when it gets down to crunch time, you're probably going to be ahead, and I might have to not pull any punches to take the title at the end.
That's true. Sometimes you have to realize in life too, if somebody hits you in the face with a 2x4, you're probably going to try to hit them back with a 2x4, right? So things escalate. So
exactly, and there's so many nuances in our rule set that I'm sure that there's ways that I haven't even thought of yet that you could game the system and really take advantage. But I guess we need to go ahead and solidify it now that what we did today with a way out is an exception. It's not the rule. And going forward, we need to bring it up beforehand because that's going to really, that leaves a lot of openings to really get squirrely with it if we don't go ahead and say that right now.
Yeah, it's true. And I could have sworn I mentioned it, but I didn't make it on my list.
I knew you were playing it. So I mean that helps a lot, the fact that you've mentioned before that you were playing it. Yeah. We never made the official swap on your list.
Yeah, true. Very true. Well, I will try to be better about that. Actually, there is no try because either you want it on the list or you don't. or you want credit, right? Because even if I was half, like if I would have mentioned it last week, switched it out, then that's fine. But it's just the day of is a little bit different. Yeah, I am not a cheater, you son of a. Oh, I'm just kidding. You know who else is a cheater?
My mom!
She may be actually.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, our friend Tiffany joining the chat says that you should take no prisoners, Roots.
Yeah. Well, I want to. Yeah, you're right. It is entertaining, and that would be the best way to spice it up. But we'll see. We'll see how things go down the road. I'm just happy to finish these games, and have fun games to play with people like I did with Mash. And there's a couple other games that were. I think there's one called The Two Brothers or something, or The Brothers. It's just like from the same creators of A Way Out, and it's supposed to be pretty good as well.
Well, cool. Sounds like those guys have their niche and they know what they do well, and they're going to ride it to the bank, right?
Yeah, it was just so cool, man. We have white river rafting, and I mean, just all these different things. You have to work together. It's really cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Now, again, that was a title that I found so interesting that I've actually watched people on YouTube playing it flat, because I thought the story and just the entire concept for the game was cool enough just to watch.
Yeah, I kind of avoided it for that reason because I knew at some time I would play through it. So, but yeah, it was cool.
Anyway, let's say we talk a little VR news. It's a bit of a different show this week, Roots. Coming into to my note taking session this week, I was just like, man, there's really not a whole lot here, not like there normally is. But we're hitting some things from kind of some different angles this week. We actually have a couple of news items that I actually created myself instead of going on to Upload VR or VR Focus and copying it down. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the show we've got here.
Yeah, maybe somebody will be going to your notes and copying them for their show. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. And I'll add that while I'm sharing the important stuff on the program here today, not every detail is in here. That stuff reserved for our friends and supporters on Patreon. So again, big thank you to those guys.
Absolutely, really appreciate it.
Anyway, let's kick it off here by talking about a title that we talked about many months ago. A title called Swarm. Green Sky Games, and I assume that it's Green Sky Games, or the article I pulled from for this particular story here had it as one word, green. So it might be Green Ski Games, but we're going to call it Green Sky Games because it makes more sense to me. Green Sky Games first revealed fast-paced single-player grapple shooter Swarm early last year with an estimated launch window of summer 2020. As the summer grew near, the developer chose to delay the launch until spring 2021, stating that the extra time would be needed to release the game that they had originally envisioned with no compromises. And I don't know if you remember this, Roots, but it was during a time where everyone was making excuses for pulling out and delaying their games. But these guys were just pretty straight up about the fact that they had an ambitious idea for a VR game, and if that wasn't the game that they were going to be able to bring to market, then they just weren't going to go to market. And so they delayed it till spring 2021. And guess what, Roots? Spring is here.
Yeah.
So Green Sky Games is apparently much happier with the state of Swarm today, as it has now appeared in the coming soon section of the Oculus Quest store. The Steam VR version of the game has once again been delayed, however, now slated for early summer. And the developer cites a partnership with Oculus as the reason for launching on the Oculus platform first, with full cross-buy support. So, Roots, they're saying here that Oculus actually helped them to with the actual development of the game, and the thing is optimized for Oculus Quest and it's ready to go. So that's kind of the reason why they're launching on the Oculus platform first.
Oh, well, that's cool though. I mean, it's one of those things that we've said before. You know, the Oculus Quest is actually helping drive a lot of these games in development wise. You know, obviously Oculus has helped develop it money wise, I would imagine. I don't know, man. This thing just looks phenomenal. Just the everything about it, just the way that I said it before, but you know, a lot of people see this game and they would think, man, if this has got this would be a cool shooter to multiplayer against each other, right? I would submit this thing looks like one of the most amazing shooter ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just standing there shooting stuff coming at you, you're flinging yourself around. You got enemies, all sorts of stuff going on. You've got slow motion, you've got the grappling. I mean, just everything about it looks amazing.
Yeah, man. The unique gameplay loop is what kind of drew me into this game in the first place. But you know, the initial launch, or I'm sorry, reveal trailer that they put out all those many months ago, which I don't even remember if it was a trailer. I think maybe they just had given us some still frames of the game, and you could tell from that that this is something very, very different. Now it was pre Jupiter God back then, so Windlands was kind of our basis, you know, to go on when it comes to this grappling hook mechanics, and especially when you consider the shooting aspects of the game as well. But yeah, man, I think that this thing looks awesome. As you mentioned, this is purely a single player game, and it's all about taking on waves of insect like enemies in massive open air arenas that you maneuver around by grappling on the loads of little floating platforms. You have a pair of pistols, one in each hand, so that you can shoot and swing however you please. You can get enough height and unleash a volley with both guns, or you can get in close for a swing by shooting. The game will offer 21 levels and 5 dynamic zones to play through, featuring fast and frantic 10 to 20-minute matches with various weapon loadouts to mix up the action. So, what they're describing here, Roots, is interesting because these are generally things that you would associate with a multiplayer game. You know, 10 to 20-minute quick, high tempo matches. You know, so it's interesting that we're seeing this now being put into kind of a single player framework. It makes me wonder how much backstory that the game's going to give you, or if they're even going to attempt to tell a story with this at all.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if there is anything, if there's a backstory to it or not. I just know that the you know, Windlands 2 was what was amazing about it was whipping around, flinging yourself up in the air, right? And there was those moments where you had the bow and arrow, and that was really cool, and you could swing around. But this thing, there's so much going on in this game. You know, you fling yourself way up in the air, and now you're scanning for enemies everywhere, and you're nailing them as you're coming down. And the floating time, is so much more than you would imagine. I don't know, man. I'm really psyched for this game. I think it's going to be better than people think. That's just my gut instinct, and it just looks phenomenal. I like the way it looks. You know, I know that the Gorillas of the world would be like, oh, cell shading and whatever, but this looks to me like Borderlands 2 like the way you would want a Borderlands 2 to just look so amazingly cartoonish, like you're in that cartoon comic book world. I think they nailed this, and I think it was good that they waited for the time to you know, to get this done right so that it can release in the proper fashion and just blow people away.
Yeah, man, I agree with everything you said there, and just like clockwork, as you were mentioning it, Scion in the chat, you know, talking about the questified graphics and so on and so on, and you'd think from comments like that that the most important aspect of a VR game is how it looks,
Mm.
and you know, I agree with you. I think that this thing looks awesome, but when I'm looking at it, that isn't what's sticking out to me here. It's all about the gameplay with this one. And man, this game looks fun. It says that the enemies are going to range from swarms of small insectoids up to large boss enemies. So I assume that, through the 21 levels, that there is going to be some kind of a campaign structure to it. And there's also global leaderboards. So it is going to be point-based arcade style gameplay. But man, just the loop here, the gameplay loop looks amazing. And again, um, even though I do agree with you that the cell shaded graphics look really cool here, that's really just kind of a secondary thing to me.
Yeah, well, especially in the gameplay. And yeah, it ramps up every round to get, you got new enemies coming out, it looks like. And there's from what I saw there, you got some that have missiles, they shoot missiles out of you. You got to get those. And then those drone ones, they're just flying around. What's cool is there's portals everywhere. This is so sci-fi. It's just crazy. I think this is going to be a better game on the Quest than on the other platforms, and I'll tell you why. And I guess with the exception of HTC, if you have the wireless adapter, but it's going to be really beneficial to zip yourself up in the air and to be able to turn around 360 all the time, because as you're flinging yourself around, there's stuff going on everywhere, and you're going to want that wireless thing. So I would think that the Quest people, Scion, actually have an advantage in this game. Although I would imagine it's good either way.
Yeah, I would imagine that you're right. That tether is going to actually be a tether in a game like this, where you're just it's 360 action, right? It's what we love about VR. There's madness going on all around you from every direction. So it's really going to be a helpful thing not to be tied down by the cable. And I don't know. I mean, even when you're talking about, the Quest 2, you even have that functionality, right, for the virtual desktop.
Mhm.
Although, I mean, if the gameplay is that, if that frantic, you might not want to take on the 20 some milliseconds of latency there. You might just want to go for the standalone version.
Well, that'll be interesting to see whether it's good or not, or whether there's even a difference. You know what I mean? Because this thing looks amazing in the Quest as it is. So
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to wait very long here. They have not announced a release date as of yet, but from what I understand, not very long at all to wait on this one.
did we find out a cost on it yet, or no?
No word as of yet. Again, though, this is all stuff that I would expect very, very soon.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, man. I would pay just about not anything for it, but I'd say $24.95 or lower, and I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about looking at it. It looks like at least a $20 game, maybe even a $25 game, depending on just how replayable it is. And by all indications, it looks like the replayability is going to be high on this one.
Now, let me tell you this, even though it's not a part of it, I do think it would be really amazing if they somehow allowed you to like double the enemies and multiplayer it up, swing around and be shooting with Wes out there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, co-op, right? Not versus, but like a co-op mode with even more enemies and
Yeah.
teamwork, team-based tactics, if you will.
Absolutely. Not everything has to be against each other. And I meant to say this, Mash Daddy, thank you for the super chat, bro. That flew by, and then I forgot to mention it. So we appreciate it.
Same thing too. We were taken by the game. I was the same way, man. I just got so enthralled with this footage here that I made a mental note that thank Eric for being so awesome, like he always is.
Yeah.
And he says that, and right after him, I think it was Spry Guy or somebody said that they used all their super chat money on coffee mugs this week.
Oh yeah, I was able to get my coffee mug in my store somehow, Wes. It just like let me do it. It was like, hey, here you go. I'm gonna let you. All those other times you tried and we said no, were for naught. I can't complain. I think I sold two. So, and it's not. It's just cool. I even tried to tell Scion he doesn't drink coffee or tea. I said everybody needs a pen cup, bro. So
Absolutely. How long do you think the Roots mug is going to be on the marketplace before we have a cheap Chinese knockoff to
Oh God, yeah.
on like AliExpress or something.
I think I probably sold the two coffee mugs that I'll ever sell yesterday. That's my thought on it anyway. A very niche product.
Well, I say that it's going to be a big hit, and you just stick with it, son. And I think you're going places.
Yeah. I like
Uh,
that better. I like that thought better.
Anyway, stay tuned to Virtual Strangers, of course. Make sure that if you haven't already, that you've clicked the big red button and the bell to stay up with more coverage of Swarm as it releases very soon onto the Oculus Quest platform.
I can't wait to play this game, Wes. For real.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm salivating over it myself. But too bad we can't play it because it doesn't look photoreal enough.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nah, never mind. Scion says it's crap. So actually, he didn't really say it was crap. I don't want to put words in his mouth. It's just the cell shading is questified. So.
Oh, Onakazi coming through saying Steam just notified me that Hinge is on sale for $13.99.
Ooh, wow. What a deal, dude. If you like that
all
type
day
of game,
long.
yeah, absolutely.
All day long. Go for that. It's worth $14. I mean, that's a legit $25 game now that it's been patched and is playable. Still, I mean, there are still a few issues with it. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to see the return of the ultra fidelity mode, but it's very playable now. Very interesting game. I think that $14 is still for it.
Drew says, "Screw work." I'm changing your words, Drew, for the show. It was slow. Then we go live, and now it picks back up. What the hell is wrong with this world, right?
That's how it goes, man. I used to work at gas stations and stuff, and nobody would come through for hours, and you go outside and light a cigarette, and now all of a sudden, people come from out of the woodwork, and they just want to sit at the cash register scratching lottery tickets. Hit me again, hit me again.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that. I just have to deal with the window of time. I just show up whenever I can.
Anyway, since Scion's here and we're talking about Oculus Quest, I can remember when the original Oculus Quest was released, many VR game studios pretty much stopped in their tracks and pivoted to begin working on standalone versions of their top games. However, a few of these studios would soon find out that the ability to publish their software on the Oculus Quest store is not a given. Some of VR's top development studios found themselves overly invested in development of a Quest version with no way to distribute it without the end user being required to complete a complicated side loading process. It was a frustrating time for these developers as some of VR's most popular titles would be rejected with absolutely no explanation being given by Facebook. Recently, Oculus has sought to rectify this situation with the advent of App Lab, the unofficial Oculus Quest store. The launch of App Lab has created an interesting solution, and we have been curious to see if these previously rejected studios would support App Lab, given their recent unpleasant dealings with Facebook. Well, we didn't have to wait very long to find out, as Ivanovich Games has announced the launch of their most recent title, 1976, Back to Midway, onto the Oculus Quest via App Lab. Roots, we talked about this on the Money Show, the one that we released to the public. We talked about App Lab and how it's going to be interesting because Facebook needs some of these more well-known titles to support App Lab if it's going to be a successful offshoot of their official store. We had pretty much come to the conclusion that at the end of the day, money talks, and that these developers were going to fall in line pretty quickly. And it looks like we're going to see just that. As Ivanovich, I mean, they went straight to their most recent title, 1976, and kind of just dropped it out of nowhere onto the App Lab.
That's weird, man, because this is such a good game. I guess it's not weird because at first, until you just said what you said, my thought process was like, why is this on the App Lab and not on the main store? Like, this is legit a main store game. but they need something on the App Lab. They need good games to draw people into the App Lab and say, look, this is actually very viable, man. This is really good. And so that makes sense from that standpoint. But and I don't know if I just got my Quest 2 back last week. I don't even have App Lab yet. I got to get it off of side quest still, right?
No. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of what App Lab is. It's not a separate thing. It's just functionality that's already pre-built into the headset. The App Lab games you can access from the official Oculus Quest store. They're just not advertised on the storefront. All you got to do is go into the Oculus Quest store, search for whatever title it is that you're looking for by name exactly. I mean, you can't misspell it by a single character, but as long as you type it in exactly, it'll pop up and you can purchase it right there.
They need an App Lab button, a tab. This is everything that's in the App Lab, because I don't know everything that's out there. And to look at and to have to pull it up by name, that's putting all these developers' games at a disadvantage compared to, like this game, 1976. I mean, I don't know how you'd misspell that. But maybe you hit a 2 first or something. But somehow you misspelled the game and your game just doesn't come up now. Whereas whatever game it is, it's front page, man. You can't miss it, man. It's scrolling through. You're gonna see it every single time. I think if they want App Lab to be more successful, they need to have a tab on there that can show me every game that's out there, because I was having trouble trying to even find anything. And I started questioning what if I needed to get App Lab from SideQuest or whatever. It's just not as straightforward as it should be.
I agree with that, and I think that's kind of the intended function of side quests now, is not really to be side loading so much as to be kind of the storefront for App Lab. You go to the side quest website via your browser, either inside or outside of the headset, and there's a section on SideQuest for App Lab titles. The only problem with that is not all of the titles are on there. Only select ones are on there. There are other titles that, for whatever reason, have chosen not to advertise themselves via SideQuest, and I think that's kind of a mistake. Obviously, Ivanovich isn't going to have trouble selling 1976, but for some of these, lesser known titles, that could be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I said. Like and this comes out today, right? Or is this out today, or it comes out soon, right?
It's available right now on App Lab for $14.99, and as a matter of fact, there's a link in our description below. If you don't want to go through the trouble of searching for this in your headset, just watch the Virtual Strangers in your headset and scroll on down to the description and click on that link, and there you'll have it, the App Lab page for 1976.
Yeah, and if you wonder if it's gonna look good, or if dude, the 3D in this game looks just as good as it did on the PCVR in the headset. It blew me away. And that's the thing. I guess I should, when I got it, it was like already App Lab. It just said App Lab on it. It just blew me away to see that this game was App Lab. To me, that was like, shook me. I was like, oh my God, because like I said, this game is so good. I just never equated the App Lab with a good game like this. And I'm not saying that there aren't good games out there, but I guess it opened my eyes to what's on there and why people should pay attention to App Lab. So good for Oculus for getting a really good title. And I can't wait I told you, I think this is going to blow people away on the Quest 2. All the new people coming into VR. And you said something about they're bringing Operation Warcade as well, right?
Yeah. I had the opportunity to talk to our friends at Ivanovich Games upon learning this, and I contacted them mainly to ask them if they were going to bring their recently rejected version of touring carts onto the App Lab, and they confirmed that. And then they went so far as to say that they're going to be bringing Operation Warcade as well, which is very exciting for me because, as you know, that's my favorite Ivanovich game, and I think that it's going to bring a whole new crowd of potential consumers to what was one of the best Gen 1 VR games.
I get excited because this is an influx of money into Ivanovich Games, which means Roots and Wes gets another. I can't wait to see what their next game that they take this niche into, because I every time they blow me away. Then Thomas McNostril says there's a side quest tab that shows all the App Lab games, which you alluded to. Also, he said he believes BMF is making a web page to list them all. So that's interesting to know as well. So go to BMF's. I guess you could probably find it from YouTube, or I don't know if he's got a website or not, but I'm gonna be checking that out.
I mean, you think that Anthony, with his VR game rankings, would be all over this, right?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think if this had happened a couple years ago, he would have been all over it. And you should get back on it, Anthony, because you still are the best in VR news when you're available.
Hussein X coming through with the I don't know, is that £5? €5, £5. I don't know. He says, "Hello, Roots and Wes. Thanks for the shows as always." Well, thank you for showing up, and thanks for the support as always. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody for sure.
But Technoglitch says 1976 needs HOTAS support, just like Warplanes. Hello. Well, I can't speak on the Oculus Quest App Lab version of it, but I can say with definitively that the PC version of this game does support HOTAS. So
I need to play with my HOTAS, Wes. Oh, you know who else wants to play with my HOTAS?
My mom!
Oh, damn, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I look at the dust layer on my HOTAS and I keep thinking, do I sell it or do I play with it again? Maybe I just need to break it out and hook it up.
yeah, it'll be one of those things that that you'll be glad when you did it. It's one of those things that that you out of sight, out of mind. But when you get in there and start messing around with it, you remember that why you were so blown away with it to begin with.
I think so, because I was thinking about that the other day, because I got rid of my Quest and I almost took back, because I still had my window for to return my router, and then I didn't. The time ran out, and so I just kept it. And then when I got my Quest again, I was glad I didn't, because it's not even about the stream, the wireless gaming, which it is partially. But that speed also, when I go into, I guarantee when I go into 360 YouTube videos, 12K or whatever they are, which there's some starting to get to be some phenomenal ones out there, Wes. I guarantee I have a better experience than a lot of people that don't have a good router, because it takes a lot to get that high fidelity through there and not have any glitches or any lag. And I'm like blown away by how good it looks, and it's just running perfect. And that's standalone. And so that's always been on my mind, is that, those videos and that type of stuff, it makes a difference. So
Yeah, versatile. This headset is. It does a lot of things very well. It's just an all around good product.
yeah, I find myself going into YouTube 360 a lot lately, just checking out different video, like stuff that I didn't think that I would be. I mean, traveling, Wes. I've been all over the world, bro, in the last week or so, man. I'm just starting to get jet lag. So
Yeah, I'm actually thinking I'm gonna make a VR video here in the next week or two. I've got a pretty decent idea for one. Now, of course, I have a low level consumer grade camera, so it's not going to be this high quality stuff that you see on Oculus TV. But it should be a cool video if everything pans out the way I expect it to. So stay tuned for that as well.
nice. Hussein X says gaming science teacher said App Lab still takes a 30% cut. And I guess you guys, I don't know if there was a conversation going on about it that's debating whether there was a cut or not. I would submit 30% is better than the game not selling. That's the rub, right? And I don't know what the normal cut is, but that's still pretty good, 70%.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's forcing these guys to go this route. They could always take it to Itch.io and SideQuest if they think they do better there. But when you come into App Lab, you gain access to most of the Oculus backend services as well. and the fact that when people install your game, it's in their actual library. It doesn't get separated out after you buy it. It's in there, just like any other title would be in there.
That's cool. It says App Lab on there too. I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott Merrill wants to know what flavor I'm vaping today. Today we are going with raspberry peach.
Ooh.
And of the different flavors of Mr. Fog that I've tried, this has been my favorite so far.
Yeah, I've never tried any flavored stuff like that. People say they like it. I would imagine that's a very Kentucky flavor, right? The South, you got the raspberries, you got the peach. Everybody loves peaches. Lot Lizard says still doesn't understand how To the Top isn't on the official store, and blows you away, right? It's kind of like this one. This one blows me away. This blew me away, dude. This, you might as well, in my mind, you might as well have came out and said, "Hey, Saints and Sinners is on App Lab." What is happening? 1976 App Lab, but it makes sense. Like I said, you want a quality, good, big game to draw people in, and this drew roots in. This convinced me. This made me a believer of App Lab.
Yeah, with specific respect to this title, 1976, I gotta imagine it's compelling. Even if they could possibly get 1976 on the official Quest store, how much is that worth? I mean, you're kind of almost on the Quest store with App Lab, and there's so much less headache that you don't have to deal with now by not having to go through that curation process. So I got to think, if I'm Ivanovich and I've already had touring cards rejected, they may have not even tried to get this on the official Oculus Quest store. And if that's the case, I got to say, I really don't blame them.
Well, and it makes you wonder, like I said, what's the percentage you get on if you go on the official Quest store? Do you get 50%, 40%, 60%? It's not going to be the same, right? So, at some point, if you feel like people are going to find your game, if it's big enough and you're going to make the money anyway, why not go on the App Lab? And maybe because they're trying to make App Lab bigger, there was some incentivization, right? And they incentivized it and said, hey, we'll give you 80% if you go on our App Lab, because we really want you. Now it's the shoe's on the other foot. Maybe. I'm not saying that's the case. I have no idea. This is me speculating out of my ass, but I really think that this game is Quest 2 store material. Like, it's on the Steam. It's going to be on obviously, I think on the Rift, right? Or no? I guess it is on the Rift, is it?
Yeah, it's already on Rift, yeah.
Yeah, so it made it to the Rift store. I mean, it's clearly a quality title. So it's there's no reason to be on App Lab outside of to draw people in my opinion. So
now with regards to the top that Lot Lizard Magoo brought up, we've spent many an hour on this show talking about that by far is the best title that didn't make it onto the Quest store that we know of. And it's an all-time great VR title. So I don't understand why that never made it onto the official Quest store, whether it be for comfort reasons, maybe there were performance issues. We got a fast-paced title like that. Performance has to be spot on. And we're talking about the days of the old Quest 1, right? Not Quest 2 that can run most games without problem, but with the old Quest 1, maybe performance was an issue. Now, with regards to why we haven't seen To the Top on App Lab yet, and this is just pure speculation on my point. I don't have any insider information that I can share right now, but the part of the perks in coming to App Lab versus SideQuest and itch.io, where To the Top is right now, is that you do gain access to the Oculus backend services. And for those people that bought To the Top on itch.io, they know that there was one very important thing that was missing from that version of the game, and that is the multiplayer. The multiplayer didn't work outside of the Oculus ecosystem. So now, if I'm To the Top and I'm looking at coming into the App Labs space, I'm absolutely 100% going to put that multiplayer functionality back in there. So if you're wondering why we haven't seen To the Top yet, again, I don't know, but I got to imagine it's because that they're working multiplayer back into the standalone version, and I got to imagine that at some point we are going to see this title on App Lab.
Oh, do you think they'll give the itch.io people a free copy of App Lab to go to, or do you think they'll have to rebuy it to get that multiplayer?
I wouldn't think so, but you never can tell. Like with titles like Moss and Super Hot that people have bought multiple times on the different platforms, I just had assumed that those developers would support cross-buy. Turned out not to be the case, which still upsets me to this day. But I wouldn't think that the To the Top um, people would developers, Electric Hat Games. I don't think that they would make people pay again. But you never know that they might, and because it is a different version, there is going to be multiplayer involved, and at the end of the day, I'm sure Oculus is going to want to get their cut of that too, right? But from what I understand, Oculus has pretty much given these App Lab people carte blanche to make as many keys as they want and give them out however they see fit. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Somebody's going to take advantage of that at some point, right? I mean, and start selling their own keys.
Yeah, yeah. Especially all these websites out there. A lot of them you can sell them to, right? So.
Scott Merrill asking, has anyone heard anything on Sniper Elite VR lately? I haven't heard anything. I did see something, and I'm not going to really call it out here. You probably saw the same thing the other day, Scott Merrill, that made me. It's probably the reason that you're asking that question, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I've been wondering myself what the status of Sniper Elite VR is. I got to imagine that we're going to know before too long.
Yeah, absolutely. And Technoglitch says, I guess he's not a fan of the arcade style of this type of games, more into the first person. Says if you gave him 1976 in first person gameplay with a flight stick and a yaw, he'd be in heaven. And that, that could be, there's a lot of games out there like that. You got to remember, this is a throwback to these old arcade games. So if they threw it all in first person, it would completely negate what the game is. You know what I mean? Like, what the game you're describing is not 1976. It's a completely different type of game. I get what you're saying though, but the fact that this nostalgia of this gameplay is the draw of this. But in my opinion,
in fact, there's another game that just released, I think maybe even on App Lab, called Warplanes, World War I Fighters or something like that. I've got it listed down in the free stuff or the reminders as a release this week.
It's not
Warplanes, World War I Fighters.
Yeah, it's out on Steam as well, and I might even be out on the link store. I've been watching it because I know PD did a video back, I think a month ago or so. Looks pretty good. I guess it's kind of arcadey, but it's like it's supposed to be really good. So
yeah, we actually got a key donated to us last week. I think it's for this game. I'm trying to look it up here to see. Yeah, Shiny Robot threw us a key quote for the show. I don't know if he intended for us to try the game out or to give the key away. I need to follow up with him, but we've got a key for the Steam version of the game.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, if it's for the show, then just go ahead and claim it, and then we'll check it out.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask Shiny first what his intent was. Was it for the show or for the
Well, that's what I'm
viewers of
saying.
the
Yeah,
show?
if that's what his intention was, absolutely. Because I would like to check that out and report back on what it's like. But I didn't.
Yeah, Roots has the HOTUS and the whole nine, right?
Yep. Yeah, I got the Yaw 2. I heard his Yaw 2's coming out. That's what I heard from Radio Runt yesterday. He said it looks amazing.
Gamer Chick says if the developer has to spend more money to convert a game to a different platform, they need to recover that cost. Also, different platforms require a percentage of the revenue, hence charging twice. Yes, that's correct, but this does not need to be an either or proposition, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be full price versus free. There is a middle ground here, and you can give people who have already purchased this title on Oculus Rift a discount, right? Give them 25% off of it. That way you can recoup your development cost. Oculus can get their piece of the pie as well. And people like me who own 2 and 3 copies of the game already because we bought it and paid full price for it, we are not put in the position where we have to shell out full price yet again. It's the reason why I don't have Moss. I'd like to have Moss on Oculus Quest, but not, for me. I've beat it on PlayStation VR. I've beat it on PC. I'd like to have Moss as a showcase title, as a demo for new people, but I refuse to pay $30 for it again. I will not do that. Even with it being the best, one of the best titles in VR and all the things that you just said, notwithstanding, I think that there's a middle ground here to find, and hopefully at some point they will.
It makes marketing wisdom, or you know what I mean? Like it doesn't makes no sense to make people pay full price. Even just given any percentage it's going to put it in people's head that, oh, I'm getting a discount. I'm getting a break over the average person. And I want that 25%. And now instead of not selling it all to those people, you're still going to get the same the other people that don't own it. But I don't know.
Right. But yeah, we've done whole shows on that. I don't want to get off on that rant because I won't stop. But with regards to 1976 Back to Midway, again, available now on App Lab for $15. Link is in the description. Stay tuned. I am going to upload a first impressions gameplay of this from my Oculus Quest either tonight or tomorrow. I haven't decided when, but stay tuned. Make sure you've clicked the big red button in the bell so that you can check that out and see if maybe this is one that you might dig.
Nice.
Paradise Decay says, I got a bonus key for Warplanes on Steam buying the itch.io version. I'd say that's probably where Shiny got his at if I had to guess, but that's just speculation on my point. All right, so moving on, Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife. This past week was an exciting time for VR gamers as we received tons of new information regarding some of 2021's most highly anticipated releases. Fast Travel Games' Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife is near the top of my personal most wanted list, and the news continues to flow in regarding this game as it has been named the first ever upload access title by Upload VR. Fast Travel Games released a 10-minute long gameplay teaser last week to complement the announcement of the game's upcoming release on April 22nd. However, all of the new footage in the video was captured by a PC, leaving many of us to wonder how the game's standalone counterpart would turn out. Upload did release an article which was very complimentary of the Oculus Quest 2 version of Afterlife, but seeing is believing. And in a more recent installment of Upload Access, nearly 5 minutes of new Oculus Quest 2 footage can be seen, and it appears that the Quest 2 enhanced version will be as advertised. Roots, Upload seemed very impressed with their time in the Quest enhanced standalone version of this game. And looking at this clip or series of clips here that they have shared with all of us, it's easy to see why, right? I mean, this does not look like an Oculus Quest game.
Oh no, absolutely not. And in true fashion, Scion is saying, "Is there really no PSVR games this show?" Well, you got this. You got Wraith, Oblivion Afterlife, or what is it called? I always forget the name on this one, but the Wraith, I'll call it. You've got this one, Scion. This is coming to PCVR, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you this: we're covering every big PCVR exclusive that there was news on this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, I mean, just get a Quest and join us, Scion. You can check this out, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you should get used to this, brother. I mean, this is going to be an awesome PCVR title, and we've got some news regarding this on PC if you want to hang tight for about 2 minutes. But I mean, PCVR exclusives are going to become more and more rare, especially if you're not talking about, indie games. And Quest, I mean, Quest was where the news was at this week. But the good news is these aren't just Quest exclusives; these are cross-platform titles.
Yeah, that is good news.
But no, dude, man, I think that. I mean, I don't see what the issue is here with this thing. I mean, the Oculus Quest 2 version of this, obviously, it's not going to look like Half-Life Alex, but it looks pretty damn good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think most games in the Quest look good. When you get in there. I mean, if you've only
Look at the
looked
detail on this guy's hands and arms.
yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
if you've only looked at the Quest graphics through the TV screen, yeah, it's hard to tell for sure. It looks really good.
Anyway, in the days following the launch date reveal, I was able to catch up with Fast Travel Games' Andreas Julesen and ask a few questions about their upcoming horror mystery game. What time is it, Roots?
Quote time.
It is quote time. I think this is the first ever quote time too that actually came from my own Q&A. So
okay, Wes is quote
exclusive
time.
Quote time. Yeah, exclusive quote time. All right. So when asked whether or not the PCVR version would be uniquely optimized for PC, he stated, quote, "Yes, we are working hard to optimize the game for each primary headset on the market. There will be some optimization on the Quest 2 headset versus Quest 1 as well, such as more effects and higher resolution on textures, etc. We will provide more details on this closer to the Oculus launch on April 22nd. As for the PCVR version, it will not be a straight port from Quest. We're adding things like real-time shadows, higher resolution on textures, and more. Same thing here, though. More details will be provided closer to launch." And he also alluded to the extra month given before the launch on the Steam as being used to further polish the Steam VR version to the highest possible quality standard. So here you have it, Roos. Sion saying, nah, this is a Quest port. And I have the quote from the dude right here saying, this is not a Quest port. So, I mean, I think that kind of says it all, right?
Yeah, well, it's like we've said before in the past. It's really up to the devs whether they're going to be lazy when it comes to porting something over or bringing something to another platform. And it's up to them whether they want to make it a straight port or not. And apparently, they are not making it a straight Quest port. And so Scion should be happy about that news for sure.
Yeah, and I kind of tried to nail him down too here on this phenomena of games being Oculus exclusive for a month. I mean, you see it all the time from pretty much every major cross-platform release. Launches on Oculus first, and then it comes to Steam VR later. And I kind of tried to get the reasoning behind that from him. Tried to get him to share with us if there's some kind of a deal with Oculus, some kind of incentive, and he kind of sidestepped the question a little bit, but he did offer what I just said there, that he kind of alluded to the extra month being self-imposed as a means to further optimize for PC. So I got to imagine by the time this thing hits Steam VR a full month after it lands on Oculus, that it's going to be very noticeably a PCVR game.
So does it come out on the CV1? I mean, CV1, the Science CV1. Does it come out on the Link store at the same time as
it does?
Quest? Okay.
It does, and there will be optimizations on day one made for PC.
So it doesn't necessarily sound as self-imposed, but I get what you're saying. I think there's probably a percentage. There's probably a percentage difference. I mean, there's exclusivity for everything, and there obviously must not be allowed to really talk about it. But it makes sense.
I mean, he did elaborate a little bit on that, and again, I put word for word the entire thing in up on Patreon this past week, but he alluded to that. That obviously Oculus Quest is where that's where the people are, that's where the money's at, and it makes complete sense to from a business standpoint to focus on that first. Yeah. And he made no bones about that. That's kind of the main reason. But he said with regards to that period, that period of time between launching on Quest, there isn't like a certain he didn't say it outright, but he made it sound like there isn't a certain period of time that he has to remain exclusive. They're going to Oculus first because it makes business sense to go to Oculus first. And the reason why it's taking them a month later to get to Steam is because they want to polish that version of the game for another month before they release it. That's what he alluded to. Now, whether or not there's some under the table deal going on here or not, I don't know. He didn't confirm nor deny this.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll never know, probably, right? So
I also took the opportunity to ask him how long the game is on average. And he said, quote, "We believe it will take players somewhere between 8 to 10 hours to complete the main story. But for the completionists out there, there are many secrets to find in the Barclay Mansion and pieces of the story that you might miss by not exploring every nook and cranny. So you'll likely have to add a few hours more if you want to find and understand everything." So there you have it. Wes's 20 plus hour playthrough confirmed. Again, make sure you click the big red button in the bell if you want to witness that.
Man, that sounds like a long game, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, 8 to 10 hours. I mean, let's be honest. That's a pretty long game, even by AAA PCVR standards these days. 10-hour game. I mean, you got to be pretty happy with that, right?
I just think people aren't happy with anything, Wes. I think 8 to 10 hours is the sweet spot. You go 20 hours, it really is. Asgard's Wrath opened my eyes. Games can be too big. And maybe for people that don't ever do anything but that one game, or they've got so much free time on their hands, they don't work. They're locked up. The government's giving them money for the lockdown. I don't know. They've got so much time, but for me, it's 8 to 10 hours is about the perfect place, to tell the story and to let you play the game. So
Scion says it depends on what you define Quest as a Quest port. A small scope game is still a small scope game if you spit polish on it. And God knows we never had any small scope games before Oculus Quest come along, right?
yeah, dude. There's so many of them still coming out today.
Let me ask you this: Is the Exorcist Legion VR? I mean, it's a similar type of game. It's the same style of gameplay. It came out in a time long before standalone VR was even a thing. That title is about a third of the length of this, and the gameplay is going to be pretty much identical. The same type of puzzle exploration based gameplay. Only this, since it's out on Quest, it's a newer title. Only this somehow is a small scope Quest port, where that is just not.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
What about the gallery? Gallery episodes episodes 1 and 2. Very very beautiful visually graphically stunning games. How long did it take to beat those? Like 5-6 hours?
Yeah. Well, it's all about
mean,
the gameplay too, man. Like I don't know.
Right. But those again, similar gameplay loop, exploration based, light puzzling, but that one has the graphics. So that's not a Quest game, but this is a Quest game, right?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is you know how I found out that the Gallery 2 had graphics? I went into it. And I looked at it in the headset. I mean, that's the way to really look at that. I guarantee you go into this game, you're going to be like, wow, this thing looks amazing. It's just crazy to me. But each their own. I'm just glad I'm not in that category that looks at all these games this way. Think about how many games you would miss if you just were like, oh, sorry.
But you know what? To each their own. He can. I get it. People like different things, and that's okay. But I think that this is going to be one of the best releases of the year, and I hate to see anybody dismiss it out of hand without even trying it. at all. You know.
And Gamer Chick says Dave from Dave Station has a very similar view as far as game length as I do. Some games are just too long, and I would equate it with like a movie or whatever. Have you ever been in a movie that you was too long and you were just like, man, this movie is too long. I don't even care if it's 2 hours. You're like, the story just doesn't warrant it to be. You can just feel that it's too long. Games can be the same way. You know, Asgard's Wrath, how many people have finished that game, bro? That should tell you whether it's too long or not. If the majority of people have not finished your game, it's probably too long. That's just my opinion. And same thing goes for Skyrim, Fallout 4. Those type of things are so epic, so long that the average person never finishes them. And for the person that does, that's great. But for the average person, you get a good taste of it and then you walk away and you just never finish. So
Yeah, yeah. The important distinction to make, though, those games are the exception, not the rule. Though there aren't very many of those type of games in VR. You could probably count them on both hands how many, high quality 20+ hour games we have in VR.
yeah, very small. It's true.
Paradise Decay says, you know who else likes 8 to 10 hours?
My mom!
Oh, she does.
Anyway, Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife launches on the Oculus Quest and the Link Store on April 22nd, and then comes to Steam VR 1 month later. Stay tuned to Virtual Strangers for more as it is revealed.
Nice.
Roots, interesting phenomenon, the VR news this week. A lot of updates, and I had to pick and choose which ones we covered and which ones we didn't. So I'll really quickly just mention the ones that I didn't put in the show notes. Population 1, very notably, got an update. Advanced War Mode. Have you tried the Advanced War Mode?
I have not tried the Advanced War Mode, but I did notice all the other updates with the soda cans, and there was actually some it needed to happen. I mean, even though they did increase the soda's healing, it just seemed like it was a little bit much to have 5 cans of each one for each person out there.
So yeah, notable updates to Pop 1. Notable updates to Echo Arena. That has now taken on a paid, or I'm sorry, it's taken on seasonal gameplay with an optional paid feature where you can buy in-game currency, which unlocks different features and cosmetic things. It looks like they've completely restructured Echo Arena.
Makes me wonder how much Scion plays it, because he's gimping his setup for the tracking. I hope he plays it every day. Otherwise, I don't understand it. But yeah, that's cool. That sounds like they're doing a good job of keeping things fresh, right? Shiny robot in the house. Hey, Shiny, we have a question for you. That key you gave to us for the show for World War One?
Warplanes.
Yeah,
World War One.
Yeah, was that to give away, or was that for us to try the game out and talk about it?
Yeah, Roots on top of it, bro. He wants to play that game.
I want to play that game. We'll put you on the spot right there, or give it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So Echo Arena, substantial update. Population 1, substantial update. Rec Room, substantial update, allowing players to convert the in-game currency to real-world currency now, Roots.
Ooh.
Rec Room creators, Rec Room Plus users, they're calling them, can now make money from their games and creations, much like Roblox.
Well, that's cool, man. I know when I back in the day, when I played World of Warcraft all the time, I made a lot of money selling gold to my guild mates, just because I spent so much time in the game and they didn't want to deal with shady sites, and it was cool.
Yeah, I think that this is awesome because this is something we've heard Dreams, Media Molecule talking about they want to do with Dreams lately, and it's a very it's a popular feature on Roblox. Pretty much anyone who's a premium user on Roblox can make these games, and you people pay you based on how much they play them or something like that. I mean, my kid made one not long ago, made made a little bit of money off of it.
Nice.
So it's a cool feature, especially when you go in the rec room and you realize how elaborate some of these deals are that people make in there. It only seems fair that they should be compensated for it.
Well, not only that, but it drives the experiences. Like if somebody knows they can make money, money talks. That's why as time goes by, I don't feel so like in the beginning. I felt a little bit bad about or weird about Patreon or whatever, but all the time we spend into it, at some point, people's time is real. You know what I mean? You're spending so much time in different things. So if somebody feels like they can create something and they actually might be compensated, they're more apt to do it, right? And so we get more experiences in Rec Room. Like who knows what can come out of this? So that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of those guys already live in there as it is. I can only imagine now that there's income potential for it. Some of the stuff that we're going to actually see is going to be amazing. It makes me curious how the copyright laws are going to be applied now, because some of the coolest things about Rec Room are in these custom worlds that they make are obvious copyright infringement, right? They have Mario games and Sonic games and all kinds of stuff in Rec Room. It'll be interesting to see if Rec Room puts their foot down and disallows people from monetizing that type of stuff.
Well, there's gonna be. I mean, that's one of the things. Is like one of the reasons why people are allowed to make Doom mods or whatever is because they're not monetized. As soon as you want to make money on it, then somebody's going to come in and say, "No, you can't do that." So I would imagine if there's any copyright stuff, we'd probably still end up having them not do it, or maybe they reach an agreement with the company to. I don't know. It'll be interesting. So.
Absolutely. All right. So Shiny Robot says, whatever, Roots, if you want to test it out yourself, then think of it as a gift for your work. Let's just hope it's not a dud. So Shiny hasn't even played it, Roots. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, well, from what I've seen and heard, people are really saying it's good. PD liked it. They say it's arcadey or flying, but it really gives you a sense of flying, and it's an arcadey game. So, some people that are flight sim aficionados might turn their nose up at it, but that's what flight sim is out there for. Not everything has to be a simulator.
There you go. Anyway, let's talk about some of the updates that I did decide to include in this week's show. And let's start by talking about this new Phasmophobia update that went live last weekend, which reportedly ramps up the difficulty when encountering a ghost. Previously, Ghost AI was admittedly quite dumb. If a ghost spotted you, then you could simply run around a corner to break the line of sight. Also, once a ghost started to hunt someone, everyone else was essentially safe, even if they walked right by it. This is no longer the case. After the latest update, ghosts now follow around corners, listen for player voices, and search directions and locations based on the sounds, open doors, closets, and lockers when searching, and it even searches the last spotted location more thoroughly rather than starting to wander around randomly again. Also, ghosts can now target any player that gets near them, even if they're already chasing someone else. This is only a few of the examples of the improved AI that comes with this latest update. The update also includes a host of quality of life improvements, bug fixes, and more. Roots, this, in my opinion, was a game that needed work. I'm happy to sit here today and tell you that apparently this game has received that work.
It's got such a big following, I'm sure. I mean, there's how many people bought this game because of all the streamers out there playing it. It is good. It's good to see that they're bringing this, and hopefully it becomes the AAA game I know it can be. I still don't know what the hell is going on in this game, Wes. I was even watching a little bit of Ecto Helix's stream last night, and he was doing this, and they were saying all sorts I felt like I walked into a class that was all Spanish, and I was trying to listen to what they were saying, and I had no idea what they were saying. That's how foreign everything sounded. There's a lot to this game. It's very deep, and
it's basically supernatural clue is what it is. My whole issue with the game, it's a good concept for a game. It's a fun game. The problem with it that I had initially, and it might not be the problem anymore, is that it just wasn't scary to me. Like I didn't think it was scary because these ghosts were such retards, and like it wasn't any scarier than something like Dread Eye, where you see this apparition in front of you that does some, stereotypically scary stuff and then just disappears. And the ghost never chased me or anything like that. I never felt like I needed to get out of Dodge. But apparently, they've updated this thing now to where there's a significant difference in the intelligence of these specters. So now they'll chase you. Now they'll look for you. They can open doors. You can't quite get away from them the way that you could before, which was as easy as just taking a sidestep pretty much. So who knows? Maybe next time I go into this game, I'll actually feel the heat a little bit.
Did they fix the in-game communication?
I did know, it had such a laundry list of bug fixes and optimizations. I didn't read through the whole thing, but I did notice that some of the issues that were addressed were audio issues. So,
Oh, good. 'Cause that's one of the things that's a deal breaker for me. You want a multiplayer game, but the in-game communication is broke. That doesn't it doesn't. That's just as important as being able to see what's going on. I need to be able to talk to my teammates, right?
yeah, that's what drove us away from the golf pool. Remember that one?
Yeah. We were all ready to do a game play on it. I guess it was the money show before the money show.
All right.
And we just ended up doing something else because the game we couldn't communicate. So
Yeah, that was kind of a deal breaker, right?
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Phasmophobia, as you said, a popular game, cross-platform play with flat and VR. It's only $14, which is, I mean, it just goes to show you can make money by underpricing as well as overpricing, right? Like a lot of people would have put $25 on this game and they would have made a pretty hefty profit margin, as it's a popular game. But you put $14 on it, now everybody's buying it, right?
All right. Yeah, there's two models there. You want to, maybe if you don't think people are going to sell that many, you want to price it higher, but you don't want to limit your sales because you're priced too high. I think that's the sweet spot. $15 is about perfect. So
Yeah, I watched GT play this the other day, and it looked better. Like it was a new level that I hadn't visited before or seen before, but it looked better. The atmosphere, was a lot more immersive, or at least appeared that it would be. And again, the behavior of the entities was much more engaging as well. So, yeah, I think it's worth another look.
yeah, Hussein X says Phasmophobia. He sure is on Viveport Infinity.
It is. It's if I'm not mistaken, I think it's one of those that they specified as a Infinity annual title. Now I could be
Really?
wrong about that,
Wow.
but I think that this is one of those that you have to have the right kind of Infinity to.
Well, you made it when you're in the same leagues with Saints and Sinners, right? That game, I
There you go.
definitely, I did. That makes sense for that game. I don't know so much about Phasmophobia, but I haven't played it enough to really say.
I think we're due another time in there.
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffany, stop trying to ditch us, avoid us.
Anyway, I got to imagine that we probably will end up back in here at some point. And as always, as I mentioned many times before, be sure you hit that big red button and that bell if you want to come along for the ride.
2 million copies. Paradise Decay says Phasmophobia is sold so far.
That's crazy, dude. So $14 times 2 million, that's $28 million of revenue from this game.
For a game that was so indie, that's really good. So, I mean, they did everything right. I mean, the biggest thing they did right was get it into the hands of some really big streamers, and then it just blows up from there. So,
Tiffany sounds like she's on board. What are we talking about? Doing Phasma again? You got it. Yeah, I think it deserves it. I think with this latest update that they've put some of the polish on it that it needed before. So I think it deserves another look.
Yeah, well, I think we need to do the gamer tag Tiffany. It's 4 people, right? Is it 4 people or more? I can't remember.
It's four. It's
Yeah.
up to four. People, some people play this by themselves, actually.
You need to have a guide. Gamer tags the guide, and the rest of us just kind of follow. Because I kind of feel like a good guide in this game is kind of like the dungeon master of Dungeons and Dragons, right? You kind of need somebody that knows what the hell's going on. Like my first thing when I go in is, I don't know what gear I need. Like, what do I need? I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna turn around and say, shit, I don't have the thing to read the ghost, or whatever it is. So
PD says he's down. He needs to jump back in the Phasmophobia again.
yeah, all right, sounds good.
Yep. So yeah, I think really the whole deal here with that is you need a guide because the game, or at least in my experience, the game doesn't do a very good job of explaining all of the different tools.
No, you just go in there and that's it. Like, hey.
Yeah, you have to kind of figure out what things are and how they work. If there was a proper tutorial or any kind of guide at all that explained how these things work, then you would need no guide because the premise of the gameplay is pretty straightforward. That's not hard to get. It's just how to collect data with your tools. That's what you need guidance
I
for.
guess at the tutorial, I didn't really go through the full thing, so maybe it does go more into it,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I didn't know that there was a tutorial. Like
That's the only thing I've done, really. So, yeah, me and Jim Hall did the tutorial way back when, and I made it partial through, and then we started having issues with different stuff, and so we stopped.
Right. Those are the ghosts interfering with your equipment.
Oh yeah, it really did in real life. It interfered with all of our equipment, all of our audio shut down. That was crazy. Yeah, you're bringing back memories now.
Anyway, not the only title. This and the other three, not the only titles to receive a substantial update this week. Beat Saber. The latest major update to Beat Saber dropped this past week on all supported platforms, bringing 5 new modifiers along with multiplayer badges and a host of UI tweaks. The new modifiers are as follows. There's a super fast song modifier, which allows you to play any song at 150% tempo. God. There's a pro mode, which is in beta, where the hitboxes are the same size as the cubes. There's a mode called strict angles, which is also in beta, where you need to match your swing precisely to the arrow direction. There's one called small notes, where the notes are 50% smaller, but the hitboxes aren't quite as reduced as that. And then last but not least, there's a Zen mode, where there are no notes or UI. You just enjoy the music and the lights. It's a chill mode, right? In addition to these new modifiers, Beat Saber's multiplayer mode is getting an update as well in the form of 11 new badges, which can be awarded to show off a player's performance in relation to other players after each song. The multiplayer update also includes a new multiplayer results screen to show off the new badges. Other players are now represented with custom colors. Despite being revamped not all that long ago, this new update is also said to bring an updated main menu with new music. Unfortunately, and here's the kicker, Roots, this update still does not include a multiplayer mode for the PlayStation VR version of Beat Saber. But at least the other improvements in this update are rolling out to the headset now. Roots, it's a competitive market, these rhythm games. There's a lot of them. They're all very similar. It's not a whole lot that sets one apart from the others. And I kind of feel like the reason why Beat Saber still kind of sits on the top of the mountain with regards to popularity, it's stuff like this. It's the nuances that they have allowed into their game. It's a very tweakable game for people who enjoy different types of gameplay. Of course, the criticisms hold here as they do for all rhythm games, there needs to be more variability in the music. There needs to be more rock music. But as far as what you can do within the rule set, it's very customizable here with Beat Saber. And apparently, as we see with this update, that continues to grow more and more as time goes on.
And it's just one of those games where it's not difficult to slice in a certain direction, so everybody can do it. Everybody's been seeing Beat Saber since it came out. It's the one game that they even started pushing before they even advertised for Oculus, right? It's on social media. Everybody's seen Beat Saber. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody, even that doesn't know what VR is, they tell me all the time that game with the blocks and the lightsabers. It blows me away all the time. And usually it's the one game, like if I'm talking to a couple of people and they're debating getting it, the guys always tell me, yeah, my wife really wants to try that Beat Saber game. It's very popular with women, very popular game. So yeah, I think they're doing everything right, and they've got the backing of Oculus to show you why they're doing this. And even this, all these different DLCs, right? People can argue, and I get it. You can get the free maps or whatever, but some people want to own it and they want to have the DLC, and they just keep coming out with pack after pack after pack. And if you're not one of those people that's worried about money, you've got a pretty big selection of music now, right? A lot of big name artists in their library. So I think Beat Saber is definitely doing everything right, and
Yeah,
makes me excited for this new update.
yeah, really beneficial for them to join the Facebook family, right? Because now you have access to this very expensive licensed music. So Beat Saber, I guess, is kind of always going to have an advantage there. But for me, when I played this game, and granted, my experience in it is very limited, and it was from a much older version of the game. The strength of this game was in the campaign. The fact that there was direction to it, and it wasn't just a free for all when you got in here of just playing, each song willy nilly and checking out the leaderboard after. There was actual direction provided by the campaign, and again, a lot of modifiers. The list growing all the time, which enables infinite amount of replayability.
Yeah. Yeah, and Scott Merrill has a good point. Beat Saber has a moss problem in that he's bought it for PSVR, Quest, and Steam, and he owns all the DLC on the Quest, and so it's like if I'm buying DLC for one system, I'm not buying it for the other one. And it's one of those games that should be cross buy, you would think, right? At least on the Oculus platform, it Oculus owns it now. There really is no reason not to. They've made so much money from this game. So
Yeah, no, I mean it's an Oculus title now, so you kind of would expect it, right?
yeah, it would just make sense. And like you've said before, I've already bought it before. I've already bought it once, so why are you making me buy the exact same game again? You're gonna get me on the DLCs, I would imagine, or maybe those are a cross buy, aren't they? Maybe at least on Oculus. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Somebody said that, but maybe not.
Yeah, Onakazi says DLC is cross buy.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I've been playing some Beat Saber lately because I've got the 360 mode, and it's simple, and I love Audica, but I mean, Beat Saber has its place. What it does well, and it's fun. So
Yeah, and I thought Synth Riders was really cool too. And now while we're on the subject, Synth Riders teasing an interesting looking update on Twitter this past week. And I can't say for sure if it is what it looks like, but what it looks like is a boss fight.
ooh, really? That'd be pretty
A
cool,
rhythm,
right?
a rhythm game with a boss fight. Yeah, man. It was like this flaming skull thing that looked kind of like Ghost Rider, and it kind of floats out in front of your path, and then on certain beats it attacks, and you have a chance to dodge and counterpunch.
Wow, that's pretty cool, right?
That's what it looked like. I hope that's what it is. If they go that route, then all of a sudden, Synth Riders is in rarefied air with regards to this type of games because nobody else is doing anything like that.
Well, that's the thing, thinking outside the box, right? So,
Yeah, or the blocks rather.
yeah.
Think outside of the box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shiny Robot says #1 mod song, Gangnam Style. Yeah, I got to imagine, right?
Yeah, I can't stand the mod for this, the free game mods. And I get it. It's free and you can play any song, but I'm one of those people that just because it's in VR, that the song doesn't mean it's mapped well. And I can't stand something, Wes, that I works one day and doesn't work the next because of an update, and now I've got to go do a bunch of shit to get it to work again. And at least that was my experience in the beginning. It was constantly, oh, it's not working again. Let me fix it. Oh, it's not working again. Let me fix it. Finally, I just said, you know what? I'm done with the mod. I'm just going to play what's out there and suck it. So,
Suck it.
suck it.
I second that.
Yeah.
Anyway, a favorite amongst the VR community gets better once more. Beat Saber continuing to evolve makes you wonder how in the world are they ever going to follow this one up, or if they're even going to try to come out with a sequel to Beat Saber. Maybe they'll just release DLC for it forever,
Yeah.
perpetually.
Yeah, I wonder. As long as people keep buying it, they'll just keep going.
Yeah, I'd say that they can legitimately ride this thing for another 2 or 3 years, with all the new people coming into VR and the way they continue to refine the gameplay. I'd say that there's no need anytime soon. It's kind of like Super Hot, right, where they can just keep selling it over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, one more news item here before we get into our weekly reminders. And a new title. It wouldn't be an episode of Virtual Strangers if we didn't have a new title, right, Roots?
Yeah, absolutely. And this one's pretty good, man. I remember playing the original, the first one, and I enjoyed it. And this one looks like night and day as far as like you can see the upgrade. You can see that it's been a few years since they put their first one out, right?
Yeah, I'll agree. This is the entire draw for me because if I hadn't played the original floor plan, I probably would dismiss this game here as something akin to what Sion was describing earlier as a questified tech demo, cartoony looking thing. But I did play the original floor plan Roots, and it was very clever. The puzzles for the time they were challenging, but not enough to make you pull your hair out. But this game came out back in 2016 from developer Turbo Button. Again, was a unique puzzle game where players could navigate through a weird building, staying in the elevator for the entirety of the game. The game came at a time when player comfort was paramount, hence the stationary gameplay concept. Next month, we're going to see the launch of its sequel, Floor Plan 2, greatly expanding upon the adventure. In Floor Plan 2, you play someone who has just started a new job and tasked by your new boss to hunt through the building to find a treasure that could save the company. Just like the original, this comedic adventure involves a less than normal elevator that takes you to some very strange worlds and their odd inhabitants. The big difference this time is that you can leave the elevator. Built around an escape room style puzzle mechanic, Floor Plan 2 will have you solving interconnected puzzles where the solution to your room isn't necessarily on the same floor. As you're now able to step out of the elevator, Floor Plan 2 is set to offer greater interactivity with its series of worlds where nobody speaks a discernible language. So you're on your own to figure that one out. Roots, that was kind of the whole hook with the original Floor Plan, right? Is that you had these, what was it, like 12 different floors? You couldn't access them all at first. You had to progress to unlock later floors, but the puzzles interconnected. You would need something from floor 3 to solve the puzzle on floor 1, which would then give you something that you need to solve the puzzle on floor 6. And, seemingly independent worlds from one another were all very interconnected when it came to the puzzles. Um, it was very cleverly done, and it was very well done. And for that reason, I'm looking forward to this proper expansion upon that concept.
This is the kind of puzzle game I like, where you go into a room and you look around and you see things and you start to think about it. Well, why is that there? And it's a lot more environmental and you're trying to figure things out. Whereas the type of puzzles I don't like is where I got to go around and read every single clue and find some random number in the middle of a piece of paper and try that in some safe. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like this kind of puzzle game where it's what I call common sense logic puzzles, where you just go in there and they present a situation and they've got a bunch of different stuff and you have to critically think outside the box. Okay, why is that there and what can I do to make this work? That's why this thing looks really good to me. And Mepper says this is I think it was Mepper, right, on his number one anticipation list for games coming out. And I would say, because I enjoyed the first one so much, so like even just watching Sean Zom Gaming, one of the guys I watched, he played it back in the day, and I enjoyed watching him play through a little bit. It made me want to go into it, and then just playing it, it was really fun. So I am looking forward to this.
Shiny Robot says I've still not figured out anything in Mist. Would you like for me to do a Mist video? I mean, we did our virtual show on Mist, but I never quite did the gameplay that I had planned on doing. If that's something you would enjoy, Shiny, just say the word and we can make it happen.
Oh God, Radio Runt's in the house.
I thought that was my my high pitched voice, and I was not expecting the deep voice. But yeah, Radio Runt says he finally made it. Yeah,
Was it a girl?
Yeah, he's just made it into the. I guess he was. Were you mowing your lawn, Radio Runt? Is this your lawn day?
Radio Runt, what we don't know is that Radio Runt is secretly Job.
Oh, that's right. He's over there at Anthony's house mowing the lawn. Yeah, that's fun. That's pretty good actually there. Gamer check up a little bit, scroll up a little bit. She says Synth Riders, she's sorry, but it is not. It is a terrible title. It's not good. Are you writing something? Beat Saber is so clear and it has a saber in it. Brilliant. And then I think Drew said he basically responded with
How dare you?
how dare you say such things about Synth Riders? We got a little discussion going on in the chat here.
Well, I would say that there's plenty of synth going on. So at the very least, they get half credit. And when you're talking about writing, I mean, you don't physically write on anything, but you kind of get taken on a journey by the grooves of some of these songs. Not to mention these rails that you're grinding out as you make your way through the levels. So I'm not going to take them to task too much on that.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, my thing is it does kind of feel like you're just doing this a lot. But once you get to those more intricate levels, it becomes a little bit harder to do. So
Yeah, the cool thing is and I may or may not have shared this, but when we covered Synth Riders on the show, the developer did watch it and he sent me an email like the next week. And basically, he took all of our criticism and right down the list. It's all coming, man. I mean, there's his campaign mode's going to be put in there. There's going to be more direction for people so that they're not just kind of going at it willy nilly like I was, and more experiences. Remember, we said we wanted more of those experiences, like the Muse one that we tried out. And he said there definitely will be more of those as well.
nice. I love developers that listen to stuff like that and they incorporate it, right? It's not like you're giving criticism or ideas for no reason. It's because we want the game to be even better than it is. So
Scion says that if a puzzle game isn't making you pull your hair out, then it's not a very good puzzle game. Have you played Floor Plan? I'm curious, Scion, the original Floor Plan, because while some of the earlier puzzles were pretty simple to figure out, it was not what I would call easy. There were a few spots in the game where you did have to think it out a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I enjoyed Floor Plan, and I definitely look forward to this one. This one looks like an even better one than the first one. So
Shawnee Robot says, I'm looking forward to Cosmo Dread, as am I, friend, and you're not going to have to be looking forward to it for very much longer. That one is coming very, very soon.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one as well.
Hussein X said, I played 4 Playing 1 on Go and enjoyed it, even though I prefer games with high-end PCVR graphics. Well, yeah, exactly. Again, um, nice graphics are just that. They're nice. They really can add to the immersion of a game. But, I can recall a time not that long ago that we were all saying, you know what, graphics aren't everything. And it was true then and it's true now. So,
I still think gameplay trumps graphics. Graphics matter, but if the gameplay sucks, I don't give a shit about how good it looks. That's just my thought, like I'm not going into, at least my thought for VR anymore. I'm not into VR to go into stuff and look around and go, ooh, ah. I want to go in there and do stuff. That's just my thoughts anyway.
yeah, it reminds me of a old PlayStation 1 game called Chronicles of the Sword, which I rented because it was such a beautiful game graphically. But we rented that game and it was just terrible. It was a beautiful mess. Like the controls on it were clunky. It was hard to get around where you were going at. There were cryptic puzzles that like were impossible to solve without looking up the answers. It was just a terrible, terrible game. Horrible voice acting. Um, it was one of those so bad it was good. Like we kept playing it just because it was so funny to us how bad it was. So, but it was beautiful, right? It was a beautiful looking game. It fully pushed the PS1 to the limits of what it could do at the time.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Mepper says he says, so you're saying you're the anti-Anthony, me. And I guess if Anthony is saying that the graphics matter over gameplay, then absolutely. I mean, there's a balance, but some of the best games I've ever played have not been like Dead Cells as a flat game isn't the best graphically made game, but it's like a Castlevania Metroid and it's amazing gameplay. And you forget about the graphics, right? We're not even talking about a shitty game either. Like a lot of these games, they look really good, but they're not up to the standards of the PCVR crowd, and so you run into this weird conundrum. So,
Yeah, Silence says that he wants it all, and I agree with that. I do too. Um, and there's probably what 10 titles out there that really have it all, that are just great all around in every facet. Um,
well, the good
and
news is go back a
those
year
were
and a half. We don't have those 10.
right. Yeah, I
So,
know, right?
I mean,
Um, and I would say, and he's probably going to scoff at me for saying this, but if you really want it all, you should probably get a PlayStation VR, bro, because those are the best all around graphics and gameplay wise. Obviously it's not the clarity that comes with PCVR, but they make up a lot of that through optimization. And then again, just AAA exclusives that are just second to none.
yeah, yep, absolutely.
Um, Speaking of which, Roots, there's a rumor image floating around on Twitter now of a Resident Evil Village case, and across the top it says PSVR mode included. So
I
nobody
believe
knows
it.
if it's legit or not. But I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that it is, and that the game is going to support PlayStation VR on day one.
Yeah, I agree. Gamer Chick wants to know if there's a game element to Audica from Radio Run, or is it just rhythm games? Play rhythms you like. No, there actually is a campaign mode for Audica you can do as well. So
You should try Audica, Tiffany. It's legitimately better than Beat Saber. It really is.
I think it's one of the best, if not the best, rhythm game out there. But it makes sense. It's made from the makers of Guitar Hero, so I mean they know what they're doing, right?
I would agree from a pure rhythm game standpoint. Now, if you want to take it out to the broader rhythm game category, Pistol Whip, and I don't even think it's close. But if you're talking about just pure rhythm gameplay, then yeah, Audica is probably the best right now.
How dare you?
How dare you talk about my baby like that? No, I agree. Pistol Whip's definitely got unique, right? So
Yeah, and that's without me even having tried 2089, which I have not at this point.
I need to do that, Wes. Mash was so good to buy that game for me, and I still have yet to go into it because of all the games we've been playing. So
All right, well, I'm calling it now then. Pistol Whip 2089 virtual show this week.
yeah, that's it. We'll see that. That's all I need is a little structure, and now I'll be doing it. That's good.
There you go. Tune in to see what we think about Pistol Whip 2089 this Wednesday on the world's only late night VR show, virtual show, or Virtual Strangers in the Night, or the VR Late Show. Insert title here. It doesn't matter what it's called, friends. It's the only late night VR show. You can't miss it. Midnight-ish on Wednesday.
Or like the UK likes to say, strangers in the morning. The only early bird, the early birds of the UK or of the
Breakfast with Strangers.
Breakfast with Strangers. Yeah, there's all sorts of titles out there.
Anyway, where are we at here? Turbo Button says there are over 4 hours of content to play through, and once you've done that, you can revisit completed puzzles to find that they've been remixed to provide a new challenge.
Ooh.
This is something completely different than the original floor plan, which could be played through in 60 to 90 minutes or even faster if you're Scion, you could get through it in about 45 minutes. So the fact that now you're not constricted to the elevator, you're going to be stepping out into fully fleshed out levels. And you'll remember from the first floor plan, each floor is like a whole different world from the one next to it. So it's legitimately like separate levels. Now you can get off the elevator, and as opposed to the sub 1 hour length of the first game, this one's going to be 4 hours plus with replayability because the puzzles are going to get remixed. I think that is the headline of this whole article.
Yeah, well, someone for Wes, you're going to be looking around these environments, taking a little bit longer than probably most people, right? But and PD says Strangers at Dawn. I like it.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this game is going to be. I don't know. It looks good to me. And now, do we have a price on it, or did they say anything on it?
Yes. Floor Plan 2 is due to release on 1st of April. No joke, April Fool's Day. Supporting Quest, Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, Valve Index, WMR. $25.
Ooh, is that the April Fool's joke?
$25 for a 4-hour replayable campaign puzzle game.
Yeah, that's it. To me, I mean, that's a little bit. I was thinking 15 was, or maybe even 10 was good, but 25, we'll see.
Well, I think 10 was fair for the first one, and you can get it for less than that. I guess you can get it sub $5 pretty regularly. But I think in terms of value for what it was, I think that it was a solid $8 to $10 game. With this being 4 hours and everything they described, I would say $15 to $20 is a fair price for it. 25 is a bit much
of a stretch. Hopefully there's a sale on when it comes out. Get it for $20 or something. So
yeah, or maybe it comes to infinity.
Yeah. So I was thinking 15 was the sweet spot for me, but
I wonder about these developers that launch straight into Infinity Roots. Do you think that they're ruining their chances to make money with the game by launching right on the Infinity?
it depends. It depends on how good your game is and how sure you are that people are going to play it, right? Because it's based on playtime versus whereas Steam, you buy it, you got it, and you're gonna unless they refund it, you're gonna you can get your money. If it's a title that people are more apt to try, like maybe if you feel like people will try it more if it's on Infinity and they actually get a chance to play it, then it would be. But I guess there's a lot of different factors, right?
Yeah, it's going to become less and less viable for developers as more and more people come on the Infinity. But then that's a double-edged sword, right? Because with more people on Infinity, the more money you make from Infinity.
Right. Yeah, so I guess you have to balance it all out. And
And by the way, they redid their structure not too long ago to give developers an even bigger share.
oh, really? Well, that's good.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's definitely turning out to be a very good. So one thing that I can say HTC is nailing. So
Yep. The one thing that they continue to knock it out of the park with.
yeah.
Scion says you can press the Cartman laugh button for that price, but I'd say a more fitting response would be, "Come on, man."
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And I'm afraid to hit the Cartman laugh button because I hit it last night in my stream and it's not set up right. It's set up to not stop until it's done. That's 28 seconds, bro. That's a long laugh. I need to stop it when I want to stop
It is hilarious, though.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, that's going to bring us out of the news segment and into our weekly reminders. And we're actually have the out this week section of the reminders this week, Roots. We have enough stuff to talk about here that we included out this week. This week.
Yeah.
First of all, Flow Weaver from Stitch Media released on the 11th of March for $20. Now, this is a title we're not going to talk about a whole lot here. Roots did do a live stream, a first impressions live stream of it the other day. I plan on doing a similar video when I get my key. My key is literally in the mail, the physical mail, and I don't have it yet. So
Physical
not a whole lot
mail.
I can say about it.
Wow. I never got a key through the physical mail. I feel special. Or you should feel special. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about it when you get a chance to play more in detail and go from there.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be on the late night show this week, that I'll have it in time for that. I have seen on YouTube where other people received their mail yesterday, so hopefully I'll get mine on Monday. It's coming from Canada, so
Oh, wow.
you never know.
Scion's coming from Canada, bro. I was just thinking he needs to play this game because he thinks that the games or these puzzle games need to be hard. And at least from what I found, this is definitely a thinking puzzle game. There's not much leading you. You feel very rewarding when you solve it, and you feel very stupid when you're standing there and the stream is like, "What are you doing, bro?" But very cool concept. I thought it was really cool going between the worlds, and I'll leave it at that for our conversation on hopefully Wednesday.
Yeah, so when I tuned into your stream, I literally did not pay any attention to the screen. I made sure I didn't watch any of it, just the chat. So when I come into it, hopefully in the next day or two, then it's going to be completely fresh experience for me, and we'll try to figure it out. I am going to make a gameplay video of it, unless it's just something crazy like next week or something. At that point it'll be kind of late in the game, but if I get this in the next day or two, I'm going to do a gameplay of it, and we'll see. We'll see how it is.
Well, without wanting to spoil anything for you, I will just say, and usually these people are like, I don't want to tell you anything, but let me tell you this. Super cool. I thought it was really cool, and I can't wait to see your gameplay.
Awesome. Scott Merrill says, I have Infinity, but I still buy games that I can play on there if I like them enough. So Scott Merrill, one of these cool people that likes to support the developers. So if they really like a game, then he just goes and buys it anyway.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, right? People are so short-sighted. They're like, we want more, but they don't support the developers, and that's what I always tell people whenever they're giving me grief for having skins on Population 1, because I have owned all the ones except for the first Rain Slicker stupid yellow thing. Because I want to have the skin, and I want to support the devs. I want them to keep coming out with new content. Yeah, it's a no-brainer, you know what I mean? It's like, why you support your favorite restaurant and you like the food, but you also want them to stick around, right? So
yeah, absolutely. And we've kind of been we've had this attitude since day one, right? That supporting the developers through these, maybe not so much anymore, but through the early days of VR, it was really an important thing to do, right? Because I mean, without them, what are we going to do? We're going to play Skyrim forever. I mean, we need games, right?
yeah, and the AAA games take developers. So
Also out this week, as we mentioned earlier, 1976 Back to Midway, out on Oculus Quest via App Lab, March 13th for $15 from Ivanovich Games. Roots, the headline here again, Roots. Not only is this an amazing game to play on Quest, not only are we going to talk more about this game this Wednesday on the Late Night Show, but I think the headline coming out of today's show is Operation Warcade for Quest confirmed. That's a big deal to me.
yeah, absolutely. Both games are amazing. $15. What an amazing price. I mean, this game is going to give you hours upon hours of gameplay. And it's just one of those games where even if you've beat it, you could go into any one of these levels and have fun playing it. It just has that nostalgia feel of going back in the day, right? And playing through these levels. And I will talk more about it on Wednesday, but what stood out for me, I couldn't believe how, and this is stupid, the 3D popped so good. It was just so good. I can't wait for people that have just came into VR to play this game because they're going to be blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamer Chick 13 joins the chat and says, Flow Weaver, I believe you can get me through the night.
I think that's what they were thinking about when they named this song or that game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. That was a song ahead of its time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Velocity Vector out this week on the 11th of March. $15 from Alpha Lee Ray. Roots, people in the Discord raving about this one.
Yeah, this is actually, I looked at some of the reviews and people were either saying it was really good or there was a few people that were bitching about it because, learning how to play a game is just too much work. Because that was the biggest thing I took from this is people were saying that it's a learning curve. And I kind of thought about what was that one game that with the wheel or whatever, the one that we played that was multiplayer against each other. It was like where you were in that big wheel thing or whatever, the indie title.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this game the other day. We need to revisit it, and I would be able to spout it off right now if you hadn't asked me what the name of it is. All right, you kill me. I got to go find out.
Well, at any rate, the reason why I bring it up is that I thought a lot about that game because we said the same thing about that game, that there's a very steep learning curve, right? But there wasn't, because it was multiplayer and it's more geared on playing against other people. I was less inclined to go in and learn the things for whatever reason. Whereas like this is a race where once you get the racing down, it's going to be I guess it seemed like there would be more reason for me to go in here and learn this learning and have more of a gratification once I've learned how to run these. Now there is no multiplayer in this, right? This is just strictly racing for the sake of racing, correct?
At the time, this is true.
Okay. It just looks really cool. The environments, the racing, I guess it's more like a pod racer, right? And I was thinking it was $25, and I was thinking, my God, that's way out of control. But then I found out it was 15. That seems reasonable to me. I might check this out. It looks very crazy, right?
Yeah, man. You know what else looks crazy is my Steam library. It looks like it's missing some games, bro. Does this happen? Do games go missing from Steam?
No, they do for me if there's somebody else's.
No, I'm talking about my library.
I don't think so. They shouldn't. I mean, unless they're for whatever reason there's you can set it to not show certain games. But I mean, if you have a game now, we are living in the retro world of digital, and or you buy something on what is that Nook or one of those sites, a digital book, and then they just decide that they're going to take it away from you. That does happen. So I would imagine that is actually going to be an issue in the future of whether it be Oculus or across all platforms where they just retroactively say, look, this game just doesn't exist anymore. And we're sorry you spent money on it. And we kind of already see that with some servers and stuff, right? But where the game is no more, canceled.
Yeah, man, I'm getting confused here, bro. It's telling me I have 22 games in my Steam library,
That's
which
it?
is yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy. I don't know that
Uh,
I don't know.
and the
Weird.
game that I'm looking for is not one of them.
Hmm.
So maybe I am filtering this thing out somehow. Group by library, group by collection. How about we don't group it at all?
Just
Oh,
show
we
me what's
can't do
on
it.
there, bro.
I wanted to plug this guy's game because it was such a cool thing in an original game. I felt like it didn't get
Now I'm trying to think of what the name is
the
of that
attention that
game.
it deserved.
Yeah, I'll scroll through and see because I don't have 20 some games, and I've got a lot of games I'm scrolling through here. Hyperwheel Overdrive.
Hyperwheel Overdrive. Thank you.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah,
We
man.
did it, Wes.
Hyperwheel Overdrive was it was awesome, man. It was a great game. It was fun. I mean, it had a bit of a learning curve to it, but it didn't hold your hand, and you did it.
No, it was definitely one of those things that I guarantee once you figured it out, it was going to be very rewarding. It was very difficult, very cool but difficult. Andy McAvoy says, "Have a white chocolate mocha or whatever that's quad venti white mocha, and a can of Red Bull for Wes on him." So we appreciate that, Andy.
Where are my games at, Roots?
I don't know. What made me wonder. I almost went in and was looking. I was like, "Am I going to be able to find your games in there and you can't?" Right? That would be
Yeah,
weird.
this don't make sense. Like, where's my copy of Pavlov at? Where's
Group by library. Let's see what we got here. Lethal
we've got
Weasel
now?
games. Oh, I don't say I don't even have access. I got to borrow it, and then it's gonna tell me blah 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 blah. You already have access. Let's see how many you have. Request access. Send request. Oh wait, we've already discovered you have access already. Yeah, I've got. Which one did you say you're not seeing?
I mean, Hyperwheel Overdrive or Pavlov, or I mean, I have a lot more games than this. I got a ton of flat games
Yeah,
that are
no,
just
I
not
don't.
even on here.
I don't see them either. I don't see that you have Hyperwheel Overdrive. Well, I guess it wouldn't show up. Should not show up in mine because I've got them as well. So
Yeah, like this is a fraction of my games. I must have some kind of weird filter on because yeah, this don't make sense. So stay tuned for an update on that one, friends. I'm missing like 100+ games.
yeah, I got 43. 43 for you is what I show.
It's showing me 22.
Yeah, that's weird. But
Yeah.
any duplicates I'm not going to show. Like I said, Hyperwheel Overdrive, I've got it, so I won't show it in my library from you. So
Yeah,
it's not.
flat games and all, I've got over 100 in my library,
That's
and they're not here.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
Oh well, that'll be a mystery for another day. Back to Velocity Vector, racing slash platforming game with uh, very unique controls. It's kind of like
Pod Racer, right?
it's like controlling a pod racer with horse reins, like from riding a carriage, right? Um, Interesting. Are you interested in playing this one, Roots?
Yeah, actually, I would check it out. I mean, I'm not interested in buying it, but I am interested in trying it.
Yeah,
And
I've looked into finding a contact for the developer, and I was able to find one. I have not yet reached out to them, but if you're interested in covering this,
yeah, for sure.
I'll make the effort.
Yeah, for sure. Derail says this is his favorite new segment. Wes is missing Steam library. Who
Yeah,
doesn't love
it's
that
a
segment?
it's a mystery.
It is a
It's
mystery.
it's for the mystery machine, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's why you got that shirt on, bro.
You
I
know, I
could.
did have this scammer try to scam me the other day on Discord. He told me that if I didn't join some certain dude's Steam community and Discord page, that I was going to be banned from Steam. So
Oh, that's a weird concept. I've
yeah,
never heard that before. I would suck, dude. Did you do it? No, just
no, I
kidding.
reported him and got him banned.
Sweet. Yeah, that's weird,
It's
man.
from the Discord for Contagion. The Contagion. I've only ever met two scammers on the history of me being on Discord, and they both have connected with me through the Contagion server.
Wow. I'll tell you what, that's weird, right? I sometimes you have to think outside the box, you know what I mean? Like how could they take this information? What could they do with it, you know? And there's a lot that people can do with stuff that you never thought of, at least for me anyway.
Apparently, they could steal all my Steam games out of my library.
Oh, wow. Well, see, I don't know how do you steal a game that's, you know, like I don't know, either you steal the account or you don't. I don't see how you steal a
Right.
game out of it. That's weird.
It's 2021 roots. You could
Yeah.
steal games.
Yeah, everything happens, right? 2021's the year.
Anyway, also out this week, Warplanes, World War II, or I'm sorry, World War One fighters from HomeNet Games came out on 311. Again, $15. We're gonna find out, right?
Yeah, people rave about this game, so I guess we'll be checking this game out and maybe talking about it this week. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and thumbs up. You do a thumbs up
Thumbs
while you're
up,
playing.
bro.
Yeah, who doesn't want to do a thumbs up?
All right, that's going to bring us on to our next reminder. And this is the part of the show where we ask all of you to please join us right now in real time as we do our part to support the game developers by wishlisting a title. Any title could be one of the titles we talked about today, could be another title that you have on your mind. Let's just go right now. You're already at your computer. It makes a big deal to these developers. So why don't we just take a moment, take 30 seconds and go wish list something. And you know what I'm going to wish list, Roots?
Swarm is what I would wish list if I didn't already have it wish listed because that thing just looks so good.
I'm going to go wish list all the stuff that used to be in my library, but somehow is not anymore.
Yeah, this is the new segment. Wes is missing library. What would be cool is like next week if Root starts having games start disappearing too. That would be kind of a conspiracy theory going on.
Yeah. You know, maybe it has something to do with maybe my kids logged into Steam on the other computer. Maybe that has something to do with what I can see.
There's a logical explanation. You know, sometimes things don't make sense with Steam. Like the fact that I have to keep one game, at least one of Wes's games downloaded at all times because that way I can go and say, oh, Resident Infinite is the only game I show in Wes's library, so I can go to just pretend like I'm logging in, and then it says, oh, what are you doing? You want to borrow this game? Oh shit, I just remembered you have access already, and then all the games pop up again. But it randomly happens every so often. You got to do that. I don't know why. It makes no sense, but man, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So I'm saying that Velocity Vector is going to be my wish list game of the week. And let us know. Leave a comment down below what you wish listed this week. If nothing else, do it for the algorithm, bros. We need your help with this problem called the algorithm. And apparently, to fight the algorithm, we need comments. That's what people say.
That's it. Comments. Spry Guy says, and he makes a good point, and I was hoping he wouldn't point this out, Wes, but he said that Roots hacked Wes's account so that he couldn't beat Roots in the Beat It challenge. So if you start seeing your games disappear, bro, well, good luck. I like that one, Spry Guy.
The sad thing is like if I had to go through some kind of like a recovery process, I don't even know what the hell I have, man. I have so many games, like it'd be weird for me to try to figure it all out.
Now you're making me want to screenshot my library at like every week or so.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea.
Think about it. And like, if they just took a game away from people, unless you're, you should know, but if you're detail oriented, if you're not detail oriented, you may not know. It's kind of like those companies that double bill you, and then, oh, sorry, I didn't, they wait for you to call them out on it, and then they give you your money back. But how many people don't call you out on it, right?
Well, yeah, right. Velocity Vector, 4 user reviews, Roots, but it is now on my wish list. No brakes, no checkpoints, it says.
Delirium Drew says he's got a, oh wow. I got a coworker playing Quest soon. He's done Space Pirate Trainer, Real Fishing, In Depth, Mini Golf, Gun Club, Beat Saber. What else should I show him? You can't yet,
The
but
Walking Dead,
Saints and
Saints, and Sinners.
you can't show him this yet. Swarm, when it comes out, show him Swarm. What else? There's all sorts of games that I would say that are must plays from that perspective. That's just going to blow people away, right?
Yeah, like there's tons of like the best games in VR that are on there. I mean, like Dread Halls you can get on there for like $10. But I would say, well, let's think about this for a minute. Quest exclusives. There's some good Quest exclusives.
There's
Um,
so many
I would,
games out there, Wes. I put every game I have on my Quest, and I still have half of my space left. And I'm talking 70 to 80 titles, bro. And I don't have a lot of stuff on Quest because I've got it out on other stuff. Like, there's such a big library now. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff, right? I mean, and again, the Oculus exclusives are the best. I mean, there's Climb 2, which I haven't tried yet. By the way, you know, it's funny with the Climb, dude. They had that bundle, right, where you buy the two, you get like 33% off. And normally, when you own one of the titles, you can just pick the other one up with the discount, right? They didn't do it that way this time. Like 100% of the discount you're getting is from the first Climb.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you own the first one and want to buy the second one, you still have to pay full price for it.
That's why I don't own the Climb 2, because I went
Yeah,
to
me
look
too.
at it and I thought I own the Climb 1, I should have a discount, and it was still $30. And I was like, what? Like, even give me $5 off or $2, $3, something to where I feel like hey, you invested in our first one. Thank you. Here's a little bit of a discount. No, fuck you, Roots. You're paying full price. I should be having it for free. No, that's not the case. That's not how I look at it. But it's as much as I just bitched about it, Wes, and obviously I kind of feel like you're in the same boat. I keep looking at it. Like, I want to try it, Wes. Like, I'm almost ready to buy the damn thing. And
$30.
$30, and I keep stopping myself. But man, at some point, I gotta climb, bro.
Right. I think Quest titles that you must try. I think Journey of the Gods. I think Lies Beneath. I think Jurassic World Evolution. Super Hot. I would or Moss even. Did you put Moss in his little list there?
I did not. No.
Yeah, Moss would be a good one to show someone. If you can bring yourself to pay another $30 for it, I cannot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else is like a must have, like a game that I keep getting drawn back to. Because that was my biggest problem last, is that even now I don't do standalone very much. It's just because I do mostly PCVR. But I need to get into some of these standalone games. So
Yeah, Jurassic World Evolution is a good one for that's completely Quest Quest exclusive.
yeah. Did he say
Try that one
exclusive
out.
or did he say just Quest?
No, I
Okay.
was talking more to you, talking about the standalone games. So
But Space Pirate Trainer, man, because I went in that the other day, and it's starting to show its age. Very minimal, the menu and very limited things. But something like Swarm is, to me, is like the next Space Pirate Trainer. Instead of being stuck in one spot, you're flying all over the place. So,
Contractors.
contractors, yeah,
Contractors on Quest.
yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, you want to check this out too, by the way.
Oh, you got it. Nice, bro. Have you tried it yet or no?
No, I just got it yesterday, and I have to modify one of the controller grips because, like Blam Crotch told me, sometimes the magnets don't come up high enough to have a good grip on it, and one of mine was like that. So I've got to add. I got to pull a screw out, add one washer in to raise the magnet up a little bit, and then we'll be ready to go. We're going to find out
Nice.
if this can stand up to the aim controller.
That's awesome, bro. I can't wait to see how amazing your Now Wes is going to be viable. Now all of a sudden, Roots will be like whispering Wes, "Hey, dude, you want to play some Pop One? Let's play some Pop One. I know you're
People
good."
use they use these gun stocks in Pop One.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, they do, but usually they're like a little bit smaller, I guess. It just depends. You know, if you wouldn't mind holding the thing into one hand, the whole thing, that might be a little awkward, but I would imagine
But you
it's
could do one of those small deals. You know, the small deals are literally just a piece of tubing, and you could literally just take this thing apart, or take this one up here that has the buttstock on it apart.
and just have one thing on there. Yeah, you could modify it to be a Pop
This
One.
this is those little ones you see people using. It's pretty much just this,
Yeah.
and yeah, you attach one back here and one there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, sounds cool to me. Whatever makes you better, that's what I need.
But $45, people, plus $16 to ship it. It came from California to Kentucky in 3 days.
Wow.
And they're made to order too, by the way. The thing is listed
They're gonna sell out.
as if they're going to sell out, but he's got multiple listings, and they all
Hmm.
say that they're made to order. You can get it whatever color you want. You just tell them what color you want it, and they'll custom make it for you.
Lot Lizard Magoo says gun stocks make them slower but more accurate, and that's and it's more immersive. So yeah, let me know how good it is, Wes. I might end up buying one myself for sure.
Yeah, it's going to take some getting used to, but slower is not an issue with me. I'm a sniper anyway by trade, so this theoretically should help me a lot.
We already talked about this, Void, but he wants to know Hinge is on sale for 14 today. Is that a go for $14?
I would say yes, but you do need to keep in mind that this is coming to Viveport Infinity as well. So, but yes, it's definitely worth $14 in its current state.
Yeah, and remember, there's always that 2 hour window that people are always forgetting about for whatever reason. You know,
True
throw it
that.
out there, try it. You know, the devs they've got that there for a reason. They would rather you don't return it, but I guarantee they would rather you at least try it than not try it. So
Yeah, I would say Hinge. Hinge is good. It's got a lot of potential, and most of the jank is gone from it now. So
yeah,
not all, most.
yeah. And who you can go to your secret room and smoke a cigarette? Who doesn't want to smoke a cigarette in a secret room?
That's who doesn't want to do anything indoors these days, dude. Go smoke, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that brings us to our next set of reminders. The best, my favorite set of reminders, Roots, other than the wish list. I like the wish list, but free stuff and killer deals. People love free stuff and killer deals, Roots. I mean, people love free stuff and killer deals so much that we start talking about it even before it's time to talk about free stuff and killer deals.
I know, man. And people need to realize, remember the free stuff, dude. Pick it up. It's free. Like, I don't know how many times I've picked up a game from Epic Game Store and am now playing it. And it's been months down the road. And it's just something that I am able to play in Vorpax or whatever. So why not? It's free, right?
Free's free, bro. It's just a click.
Yeah.
Click on it. By the way, give us some clicks. By the way, I mean, if you guys haven't clicked the stuff yet, be sure you're clicking it before the end of the show. But we're gonna kick off free stuff and killer deals the way we always do, and that is by reminding you about what your PlayStation Plus subscription brings you. And again, Epic Month, the month of March, they are giving away Final Fantasy VII Remake for PlayStation 4. They're giving away Remnant from the Ashes, also for PlayStation 4. They're giving away Destruction All Stars for PlayStation 5, and this is a new release, Destruction All Stars, as is Maquette, which they're giving away for PlayStation 5. This Maquette looks pretty cool, Roots. It's a flat title, kind of a puzzler, and you're in this space, and the scale changes as you move in and out of it. Like the closer you get in, things shrink, and the further you move out, things grow. It
sounds like it should be a VR game.
It does sound like it should. Dude, it would be an amazing VR game,
Yeah.
from what I understand. And then last but not least, Farpoint, one of the best VR games of all time, is free on PlayStation Plus this month. So all of those titles are free on PlayStation Plus. And even if you don't have PlayStation Plus, Ratchet and Clank
Oh God.
is free on the PlayStation Store this month as part of their Play at Home initiative. So that's 6 free titles from Sony this month, Roots.
That's crazy. That's good.
Two of them PS5 titles.
That's good, man. That's definitely a lot of free content, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So as far as sales on the Sony store, again, we don't repeat sales week to week, but I will note that many of last week's PSVR exclusives are still on sale this week. So there's some really great deals on some of the best VR games we've ever seen on the PSN store. So if you have a PlayStation VR, you should go check it out before Tuesday, before the sale rolls over.
Absolutely. Void Citizen said he tried to get into Final Fantasy VII and it just didn't happen. Same thing happened to me. I just can't do anime and just it's just not happening, bro. But
that was a game that I really got into back in the day when it was originally released.
yeah, my son really loved Final Fantasies as well. So
Epic Game Store, Surviving Mars is free this week. This is a title that I've seen on the Steam store many times. Free now. It's kind of a city builder type game.
oh nice. Yeah, no, I picked it up. Ready to play it someday, maybe.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Oculus Quest Store. Now we've got a bundle here. O-Shape and Knockout League for $30. Roots, I've never been one to really care whether I ever play O-Shape or not. But Knockout League, I'm mildly interested in. It's kind of like the Mike Tyson's Punch Out of VR, if you will.
I think I own Knockout League. Is it on Oculus or Steam? I know I own it on one of the two. It may be on Steam.
It's on everything, dude. It's a cross-platform game, and
but I mean, if I own it on Steam, you could have access to that. I'm more on the opposite side. I've always thought O-Shape was kind of cool because, and especially for kids, but you know, it's just trying to mimic these different things. I always thought that was a kind of a cool game. My problem, I'm pretty sure I own it on Steam because I won't get a discount for getting. If I had a discount, if I owned it on Oculus, I probably would own it O-Shape because I could have gotten it for a cheaper deal.
yeah, I think O-Shape might be an Infinity title as well.
I believe it is. Absolutely.
So you can play it on there.
Yeah. Yep.
The daily deal on Oculus Quest is a cross-buy title that I recommend that you all go and buy immediately. Lies Beneath for 20% off at $24.
Oh wow! I didn't even see that on the thing. Yeah, $24, hands down, well worth it. I think it's worth $30. It's an amazing game.
Yep. Yeah, it's a great game. Playing through it for the Beat It Challenge on my channel. You'll find a link to Lethal Weasel VR channel down there below, and yeah, I'm slowly but surely making my way through all of the videos that I recorded when I had no power a few weeks back.
Nice. Well, it was a good call, right? On a game to play through.
Yeah, dude.
It's a good game.
Yeah. $24 is a great price for it. You should own it if you don't already.
Snatch it up. It's cross-buy, right? So no reason not to.
Absolutely. Yep. Oculus Link Store, also known as the Rift Store. Carnage Chronicles is on sale for $17. I think that this is a great price for a great game.
Absolutely. And it's finished now, right? It's in its finished state. They finally opened that last dungeon that was locked up, and this is one of my favorite dungeon crawlers I've played through. So
yeah, fully co-op too.
Yeah, it's really good.
Steam. Steam actually has some pretty good sales going on. But first of all, Metro 2033 is free, 100% free for your library this weekend, playable in Vortex. Today only. It's not going to be free tomorrow. It's free today. So go now and pick up your free copy of Metro 2033.
Yeah. I guess PD said he in the chat that he put out a Vorpax video. So if you want to play it in Vorpax, it does play well with Vorpax, and people are saying in the chat that it's an amazing game.
Well, there you go. You know, I think all these Metro games people say are really good on Vortex.
Well, you know what makes it more amazing, Wes, is the word free. Who doesn't love free?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, yeah, I mean, everything's like a game is way more fun when it's free.
Yeah. People don't
With
think
that said,
yeah, cost
with
makes a
that
big
said,
difference.
I won't play free games because I don't have time to play free stuff, bro. Who has time for that garbage?
Yeah, free, that's garbage, dude.
All right. So, as usual, these aren't all of the titles that are on sale on Steam this week. Just a few that I found to be notable deals. First of all, Spellpunk VR, gesture-based spellcasting game. Roots, this is not an old title. This game came out not that long ago, and it's $2 on Steam.
Are you kidding me? $2, bro?
$2.
That's cheaper than a Roots cup of coffee, dude. That is that's better than a Subway sandwich. $2, dude. There's no reason not to own this game unless you just don't like being a spellpunk.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't speak to whether or not the game is good or not. I've never played it. I can say it looks cool, and I can say it's $2.
Yeah.
It's $2. And we were debating earlier whether or not it hurts these games to go on to Viveport Infinity too early. Spellpunk VR launched on the Viveport Infinity.
Maybe that was one of them.
And here we are, $2 just a few months later.
I want my $2. Wasn't that the line from that one movie about that paper boy is running around trying to get his $2? John Cusack movie.
Yeah, I don't watch movies, bro.
Yeah, that's an old movie. I'm sure somebody's already talking about it in the chat. So,
speaking of chat, our friends Rendered Reality joining us in chat, and I'll just say this to them: the field is evening, bros.
Oh yeah, Wes is throwing down the gauntlet. He's got his gun stock now, and we're gonna see.
Yeah, I just need to get a sling to put on there, bro, and then we're good to go. I won't have to hide under the stairs anymore. I'll be able to take these guys out in open combat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rendered Reality says Grip is on sale on Fanatical. He knows that we love that one. That is definitely a good deal. Definitely, Grip is the best racing VR game on PCVR, in my opinion.
On PCVR, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You brought it home. You reined it in at the end there.
I'm not gonna go up against Wipeout, dude. People love Wipeout too much. It's not my type of game. I don't like Wipeout as much, but it does what it does very well. It's a phenomenal game.
Yep. Soul Axiom rebooted. A lot of people say this game is cool to me personally, but mixed reviews on it. Apparently, a lot of people don't like the fact that this game got readapted for VR, but only with gamepad controls. But this is a pretty cool looking puzzle game, and it's only $7 on Steam right now.
Wow, $7, man. That's a good deal. Tron-like. I like that.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I think it's worth a look. This looks like something Scion might enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It might be too questical for Scion, even though it's not a quest game, and it looks like it's really good graphics. So,
yeah, it's got good graphics, right? So it must be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Star Wars Squadrons, $20, Roots. You're gonna break out your HOTUS and get into some squadrons sometime soon.
I need to go. I need to get back into some squadrons. I need to get back into the HOTUS, and I need to let you know, Rendered Reality just threw the gauntlet right back in your face, and he says that means Wes won't be hiding now. ?
No, that does not mean that at all, dude. I know what I do well, and if I can shoot you in the back 3 times in a row without moving, then I'm doing something right.
I love that comment, by the way. That was good.
Sprago says we need to do another channel versus channel match, and I'd be down for that on the right day.
Yeah, because Roots didn't get to be there for that one. I was
give me some time though. Give me some time. I need to learn how to use this. let me have a little bit of time to get used to this, and we will 100% we'll do it up again.
Yeah, and then somebody in the Discord, you know, offer me the gun stock that's going to be shipped to me, and I'll get one too.
Right.
So.
Zero Caliber, dude. Speak about games I want to use my new gun stock in. I'm pretty excited to try out Zero Caliber. I know a lot of people don't say it's as good as these other ones, but it's more focused on the type of gameplay that I enjoy, which is, co-op campaign gameplay. And this is going to be our next episode of the Money Show. So I got to imagine if we make one this week, we're going to find out just how good this game is.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how we both kind of have the exact same mindset, even though I don't have the gun stock to throw it in there as well. But this game I've wanted to play for a long time. I just haven't for whatever reason. And so it's waiting for this time now. So I am psyched to check it out as well.
Another little tidbit of news that wasn't enough to make the cut this week. Zero Caliber devs shared some Oculus Quest footage this week, and it's a short clip, but it looks pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this game is totally underrated, and I think it's it offers something that most of these games don't offer, which is a detailed campaign. It's great to go in there. I love going in there and shooting people like in contractors and stuff. And I was never a big Call of Duty person for the story, but in VR, I absolutely want the story. I absolutely want a co-op campaign to pull me through, and this one looks really good.
Yeah, absolutely. On the short list, we'll be getting to this one quite soon. I'd say that maybe not this week, but this might be a topic on next week's late night, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Lot Lizard says I may finally have to buy Zero Caliber. $20. I mean, it's $20 on Steam right now. It's not too bad.
I thought it was on sale even. Maybe not.
Into the Radius. Yeah.
I guess that is the
isn't
sale.
$20? It's like normally 25 or $30. Yeah, that is the sale price.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's normally 25 or $30 on sale for 20. Into the Radius is on sale for 21. Now you want to talk about PCVR at its best. Into the Radius, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good.
Don't sell them too hard on it, Roots.
No, it's really good. No, I'm watching I'm watching my frame rates do all sorts of weird stuff, so
yeah, it's gonna be what it is, bro. Don't worry about it. It's in the show anyway.
yeah, sure.
Stride. Now, normally I wouldn't talk about Stride on here because it's an early access game that's not finished and it has not inspired me to pick it up and try it out yet. But based on what we showed you last week on the early footage of the story mode, that looks great. And I'm starting to get excited for Stride. So now might be the time to pick it up. It's on sale for $15.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're gonna, we know that the plan is there, right? They've got the it ironed out. It's just a matter of how long until they get it here. So that was my big concern. Is I wanted the campaign, I wanted the story, and now that we know that it's definitely coming, now would be a good time to pick it up.
Andy McAvoy says Into the Radius is a great game. Well, thank you, Andy. There you go. $21. It gets his blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's Scion's baby, right?
Red Matter. Red Matter. Yeah. Scion loves it. That's the reason. That's kind of what I was trying to play into a minute ago, calling it the greatest PCVR game whatsoever. I was trying to jab Scion a little bit more. Red Matter is one that gets my seal of approval. One of the better looking games in all of VR, and a great abbreviated, yes, not very long, but a nice story, good puzzle game, very immersive, worth $15 all day long.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed the way that the unique movement style, this was one of the first games that I played where the controllers, they incorporated the controllers into the game to where it made you're looking down and you're looking at your hands holding your controllers. It was cool, right? It was definitely different.
Yeah, one of the few games where you say, "Man, I really like how they did teleport in this game."
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
That should tell you something.
Yeah, it was definitely unique, and I enjoyed it.
Panther VR, a title that we've talked about a few times on the show here. This is a fairly new title. I think it's still in early access. $15.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a good game, right? Stealth game.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. I haven't yet to try it, but it's on the list, bro.
Yeah.
And then last but not least on our list of Steam deals this week, we talked about it earlier. Operation Warcade, one of the best of its kind from Gen 1 VR, and probably one of the most underrated games in VR.
Absolutely. I can't wait till this game comes to Quest.
Yeah, and again, for those of you joining late, this game is going to be coming to Quest via App Lab at some point. So for those of you who don't want to wait, $10 is a great price for this game.
$10 is a steal for this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's super fun. Still the best Ivanovich game, in my opinion.
Yeah, somebody was just saying in the Discord, I think it was Mash or somebody that just started playing this game. They were not expecting it to be one of their like almost favorite games, you know, because it does have that arcadey feel of games that you played back in the day. It's just really good.
Yeah, it's addictive, right? Like, I mean, it's like all of the Ivanovich games. Like 1976 is the same way. You get started playing with it, and just one more, bro. Just one more. I can do better than that. Just one more.
And I never do better. All those little guys running around, man. It's just so cool, dude. If you haven't played this game, you got to try it.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good streaming game too, I would say.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like you can the way it side scrolls, you can kind of look away and interact with the chat and stuff, but there's enough going on the screen to keep people entertained at the same time.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's it. That's going to wrap up free stuff and killer deals and bring us to our last reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support us to do what we do here week after week. You know, first, but I'm sorry, I'm
getting distracted by the chat.
Yeah, I'm getting distracted by the chat. First of all, for those of you who are new to the channel, you know, the best thing that you can do, the most helpful thing that you can give us, money? No, not money. Clicks. We need clicks, bro. We need you to click the big red one. We need you to click the bell. Click the thumb that's doing this, not the one that's doing this. I see you two out there, by the way.
Yeah.
I know who you are. Anyway, just click on the stuff. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click that bell. Lots of new content coming up, man. Lots of good stuff. You don't want to miss it. The only way you can not miss it is by clicking those things down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then for those of you who want to do a little something more, we talked about at the top of the show, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, that's it, $3 per month, Roots, not per week, per month, you gain access to our weekly show notes. You gain access to the always awesome money show. And if it's anything like this past week, you're going to get insider info before we report it on the show here. I'm going to try to make a concerted effort, Roots, to continue to share the day-to-days with these people as things pop up. I'm going to let them know first because they deserve it.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I agree.
And then what else? Well, I'll tell you what else. Maybe you don't want the show to end. Maybe you don't want this conversation to end. You want to talk VR all day, every day, bro. Well, have I got a deal for you? All you got to do is scroll down to the description down there. You'll find an invitation to our Discord server, which is where Roots stays. It's where I stay. It's where everybody in the chat likes to hang out. It's home. It's where we live. and we're welcoming you into our home. You'd be rude to refuse.
Yeah, it's where everybody knows your name, right? It's better than
Where
Cheers.
everybody knows your name.
Yeah, it's better than
Or your
Cheers.
handle. I mean, we don't all know your name. Like, I couldn't tell you what Shiny Robot's name is. He's Shiny Robot.
Steve.
But, Steve?
I don't know.
There you go.
That's just making it out. I'm just throwing it out there.
I know what Delirium Drew's name is.
Well, that's a given, I think. I know what my name is, and I think a lot of people know what it is, but a lot of people don't. All you gotta do is go to my Twitch. It's on there. Otherwise, I'm not telling you.
Anyway, be sure to join the Discord. There's a link down there for that, as well as with everything else. We like links, Roots. We put them all down there. So
Void Citizen wants to know, is Warcade only broken on PlayStation? Is it broken on PlayStation?
Broken on PlayStation. It didn't used to be broken on PlayStation. Like, I played my way into the #1 spot on the global leaderboard on PlayStation. So
wow.
Didn't used to be broken on PlayStation. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. Nobody knows Andy McAvoy's name. Yeah.
Right.
Oh God.
All right. Drew says it's close to show 100. It is close to show 100. I'm contemplating whether or not we should celebrate that or not. It is a milestone.
Yeah. Well, and that's not even 100 show. We're well past 100 shows because of all the other stuff.
Dude.
But yeah, I think we should celebrate it. You know, the 100th milestone Virtual Strangers OG weekly show. And you just, it's something special.
Yeah, we do still have some keys in the bank too to give away. So
yeah, and we got people out there that are just itching to give away keys too. So hit us up in the Discord if you want to donate any keys for other fellow VR people like yourself. So
yeah, 100%. Anyway, what's left, Roots? Comment again. We have to fight the algorithm, and the only thing it seems to be the only weakness it seems to have, rather, is comments. Somehow the comments weaken the beast of the algorithm and allow us to slay it. And we need your help, friends, because, you know, it's had all of our comments. It's getting used to that. It sees those coming. What it doesn't know is coming is your comments. So be sure to scroll down below, leave a random string of letters. It doesn't even have to be coherent.
yeah.
Just leave us a comment down there. Help the channel grow by helping us to defeat the evil algorithm.
Yeah, send a message to all those, or comment to all those, the 2 thumbs down people. Let them know what you think of them. Maybe that's not a good idea.
Drew says probably a 2019 update that broke it. It plays. It just sounds like shit. Yeah, well, I mean, probably because it was before then when I was playing it. I was playing it in my earliest VR days. So,
yep.
Yeah, so that hurts me to hear that.
Yeah.
Has anybody reported this to Ivanovich? I'm sure that
Virtual Strangers did at the end of their 97th Virtual Stranger show.
There you
Yeah.
go. He might be watching. Ivan, if you're watching, apparently the sound's messed up on your PSVR version. You might want to get on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to wrap us up this week, friends. Yeah, with that said, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We will see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for 1976 gameplay. We got a Flow Weaver gameplay coming. We have all sorts of gameplays coming. So be sure, again, click that bell, and we will see you another day. Bye-bye.
Easy.